Chapter 292. Who knew that things would get out of hand like this? When Tang Bao returned to her office, she did not see Wan Malay. She stopped a female employee and asked, "Did you see Assistant Wan? I think he went to the washroom." "Oh, thank you." The female employee was stunned. She wanted to say that there was no need to thank him. After all, he was the big boss. However, he disappeared in the blink of an eye. When Tang Bao opened the door of the washroom, she saw Wan Malay standing in front of the mirror in a daze. Tang Bao hesitated and walked over. Her head was slightly lowered, like someone who had done something wrong. She and Wan Malay entered university at the same time in high school. Their grades were similar and they were half-baked. However, their feelings for each other had never changed because of anything. Even if she wanted to do something, Wan Malay would cooperate with her. To put it bluntly, even if she wanted to rob a bank, Wan Malay would give her a lookout. Tang Bao thought of the time when she stole the bride and climbed over the wall to enter the bride's room. She also stepped on Wan Malay's shoulder and climbed over the wall to get in. Although the groom was not the one she wanted in the end, it did not matter. It was the first time that the atmosphere between her and Wan Malay was so oppressive. "If you have something to say, just say it." Wan Malay frowned. "Are you hungry? I know it's a little weird to ask you if you're hungry in a washroom, but I really don't know what to say. Let me tell you, my heart hurts now. I'm in a bad mood because you're in a bad mood." Tang Bao pursed her lips and looked at Wan Malay. "Then I'll ask you directly. What's going on between you and Gu Linshin?" Wan Malay turned around and faced her. Tang Bao felt a headache whenever she thought of Gu Linshin. However, she still wanted to tell Wan Malay in detail. "I don't know what's wrong with him. He's provoked me several times. Every time, he said something flirtatious. He likes you. Huh? He doesn't even have the word like in his eyes, okay?" Tang Bao almost laughed out loud. "Really? Really? His eyes have no emotions at all. I can guarantee that. As for what he wants to do, I'm not sure," Tang Bao said after thinking for a while. "Malay, we've been good friends for so many years. Don't you trust me?" Tang Bao said bitterly. "I also want to believe you, but what kind of image did you show me?" You put your hand on his shoulder. "Tell me, what should I think?" Wan Malay was furious. "You should have appeared a little later," Tang Bao said. Wan Malay raised his voice in disbelief. "What did you say? If I show up a little later, I'll be able to see the stupid look on his face when he gets knocked out by my brick. If that's the case, why didn't you tell me the truth earlier? I kept telling you that I like Gu Linshin. Do you think it's funny? Have you been laughing at me all this time?" Wan Malay questioned. How could he feel the pain of being deceived by his good friend? "Malay, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be sad. Besides, I thought that Gu Linshin just went crazy for a while. He'll be fine after a while. Who knows why he did this again today?" Tang Bao wanted to slap Gu Linshin to death. "You always have your reasons, but I still can't understand it. Just let me be alone," Wan Malay said, and immediately pushed the door open to go to the bathroom. Tang Bao knew that Wan Malay was disappointed and sad, so he could understand Wan Malay's anger. So he was willing to give Wan Malay some time to calm down. But it couldn't be too long. When Tang Bao thought of Gu Linshin, he wanted to kill him. When he thought of Gu Linshin, Tang Bao got angry. There were some bruises on her body from last night, but there was a bruise in the middle. Wasn't it caused by Gu Linshin? That lunatic. Then Tang Bao was troubled. If Di Haoyan found out, how could she explain herself? Could she hide from him? At night. Di Haoyan narrowed his eyes and raised his dark eyebrows. What's the problem? Tang Bao felt that although Di Haoyan looked like a human, he definitely had the blood of a beast flowing in his veins. Tomorrow is Saturday. Let's make a deal. Let me take 2 days off this week, Tang Bao said. Why? The company has 2 days off. Why can't I have 2 days off? Tang Bao protested with a red face. No. Di Haoyan was absent-minded. Tang Bao struggled. Tang Bao panicked in his heart and jumped up with a start. He immediately turned over. How about this? Tang Bao laughed dryly. Di Haoyan leaned lazily against the headboard of the bed. His eyes were extremely dark as he locked onto his prey. A few minutes later, Di Haoyan saw the bruise on Tang Bao's waist. His cold, dark eyes suddenly narrowed and sharpened. How did you get the bruise on your waist? That? Didn't you do it? Tang Bao was still in a daze. When he was suddenly asked, his brain slowed down. I did it myself. Don't you think I know? No matter how Hao-Hien did it, he would not have left such a mark. That might be because I accidentally hit it somewhere. Ah. Before Tang Bao could finish his words, he was turned over and faced Hao-Hien's sharp dark eyes. Where did you hit it? On the corner of the desk. Tang Bao tried to make himself look normal. His expression did not change, and his eyes did not move. However, Hao-Hien reached out and clamped Tang Bao's shoulders. He used force. Baby, are you lying to me? Ew. How can you say that I'm lying to you? I'm telling the truth. Is that so? Then why is your heart beating faster? Chapter 293. Hao-Hien could even see the changes in her heartbeat. What was the difference between this and being transparent in front of him? How scary was this? Do you want to say it yourself? Or do you want me to investigate? Hao-Hien's aura became cold. Tang Bao did not dare to let Hao-Hien investigate. If she told the truth, she could still survive. However, if she let Hao-Hien investigate, she would definitely die. Gu Linshan did it, Tang Bao said honestly. When she saw Hao-Hien's cold eyes, she immediately clarified, he pinched me with his hands. Why did he pinch you? Hao-Hien's dark eyes were sharp. I'm not sure. As soon as Tang Bao finished speaking, the pressure on her body disappeared. Hao-Hien turned over and got out of bed. He paced back and forth. His expression was terrible. Tang Bao sat up on the bed and pulled the blanket over herself. She looked at Hao-Hien's gloomy expression and felt a little scared. Hao-Hien, are you angry? Tang Bao asked. If I didn't find out, were you going to never say it? Hao-Hien looked at her coldly. I didn't think it was a big deal. So, you didn't think it was a big deal? Hao-Hien asked coldly. That's not what I meant. Tang Bao had become wooden. He was having a headache over what he had just said. Why did she say that? But she did not know what to say. Should she ask Hao-Hien to settle the score with Gu Linshan? She didn't know when Hao-Hien had already stood in front of her. He lifted her face with his hand and said coldly, Now, anything about you can make me sensitive. Tang Bao quietly looked at Hao-Hien's trembling eyes. Her heart was bitter and sour. Even after Hao-Hien finished dressing and walked out of the walk-in closet, the bitterness in her heart had not dissipated. He watched as Hao-Hien took out his phone to make a call. Where are you? I'm looking for you to drink. Are you going out? I'll be back in an hour. With that, Hao-Hien glanced at her and left. Tang Bao sat on the bed in a daze. If he came back in an hour, how would he be able to drink? Was he trying to fool her? Tang Bao collapsed weakly on the bed. She knew that what Gu Linshan had done to her would provoke Hao-Hien, but she didn't expect it to be so intense. Hao-Hien was exuding a cold and angry aura, which made her tremble in fear. Young master, why are you going out so late? Zhongli asked. Hao-Hien had just entered the hall with a cigarette in his mouth when he heard Zhang Li's question. He looked over coldly. Zhang Li was so scared that she immediately lowered her head. She only dared to raise her head when the cold wind dissipated. You shouldn't have forgotten your identity. Lian appeared behind her. Zhang Li was stunned for a moment, and her face was full of regret. She said, I know, but if the young master went out, what would happen to the young madam? Did the two of them quarrel? If the young master went out after a quarrel, wouldn't the young madam be sad? Even if it's true, you shouldn't have asked where the young master went, Lian said. Although Zhang Li knew this, she still felt uncomfortable in her heart. Lian said this and said, the butler is really heartless. With that, she lowered her head and hurried away. Lian looked at the figure and frowned. In the private room, Gu Linshan was sitting lazily on the sofa and smoking. There were other prominent men present, as well as a female model accompanying him. They were having fun. At this moment, the door of the private room was pushed open. Hao-Hien's tall figure walked in. His sharp eyes scanned the room indifferently, and his voice was low and majestic. Unrelated people, get out. Gu Linshan's eyes rippled. It seemed that he was here to cause trouble. The other men and women sitting there, especially the men, were all prominent people. Naturally, they knew the king of D City, Hao-Hien. When they saw him enter, some of them wanted to go forward and brush their faces. Unexpectedly, the aura that he exuded made it impossible for them to get close to him. It was especially terrifying. Therefore, they all kept quiet out of fear and quickly left. Gu Linxin was left alone in the private room. "I say you." Gu Linxin's words came to an abrupt end. His dark eyes suddenly shook, and he quickly dodged. With a bang, a hole appeared where Gu Linxin was sitting. The sponge in the sofa was blown out. Di Haoyin was holding a desert eagle in his hand. The black muzzle seemed to be emitting hot air from the bullet. Together with Di Haoyin's murderous aura, it was terrifying. "Di Haoyin, are you crazy?" Gu Linxin growled eerily. "You dodged quickly." Di Haoyin's sinister expression was particularly frightening under the light. "You actually shot me for a woman." Gu Linxin's expression was extremely ugly. "It's good that you know." Di Haoyin pointed the gun at Gu Linxin again and asked, "Do you want to try again? My bullet is faster, or you run faster. Don't take it seriously." Gu Linxin stretched out his hand to stop him. If he didn't stop Di Haoyin, no one would be able to stop him if he went crazy. "I was just joking." "Then what do you think my joke index was when I shot you just now?" Di Haoyin asked coldly. "No joke, only killing intent." Gu Linxin sneered. "But what's the point of holding a gun?" With that, Gu Linxin took out the gun on his body and threw it far away. "Let's use our fists to determine who wins or loses. Let's see if you, the wolf in the cage, are more ferocious or the wolf in the forest." Di Haoyin threw the gun in his hand back. Gao Ling caught it. "Young master, all of you get out." All the bodyguards retreated out of the door. Only Di Haoyin and Gu Linxin were left in the private room. The room was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop on the carpet. Suddenly, Di Haoyin and Gu Linxin were like two wolves. They suddenly stood up and leaped towards each other. Their fists were like iron as they struck each other. All the blows landed on each other's body. They took it without hesitation. The two of them punched and swept their legs. Every move was done with all their strength. They didn't look like friends, but like enemies who had known each other for many years. Di Haoyin lifted the coffee table with one hand and threw it at Gu Linxin. Gu Linxin didn't dodge. His eyes were fierce as he punched the glass surface of the coffee table. With a bang, only the sound of glass shattering could be heard. The fist passed through the glass and hit Di Haoyin's face. Di Haoyin quickly turned his face and grabbed Gu Linxin's wrist with one hand. The pain was worse than the broken glass. Gu Linxin directly hit Di Haoyin, nailing him between the coffee table and the sofa. Gu Linxin looked down at Di Haoyin and sneered. "Do you admit defeat?" "Yes." Di Haoyin's eyes flashed fiercely. His long legs kicked the coffee table. Even Gu Linxin was kicked far away. Di Haoyin stood up and looked coldly at Gu Linxin, who was standing up from the ground. Both of their clothes were torn, and their faces were torn as well. From the looks of it, they didn't gain much. Chapter 294. There was no need for him to back down, so he threw another punch. The two groups of bodyguards outside the private room stared at each other as they listened to the loud bangs coming from the private room. It didn't take long before it stopped. Inside the private room, Gu Linxin was covered in wounds again, while Di Haoyin was the same as before. Gu Linxin collapsed on the sofa, his face tense as he endured the pain. It was obvious that he had lost. Di Haoyin looked down at him coldly. "Let me tell you a story. A teenager was playing in the mountains when he suddenly met a tiger. He was so scared that he immediately drew his bow and shot it. His skill was poor, and the arrow hit a rock beside him. After he ran away, he felt that his strength was incredible. The next day, he shot at the rock again, but no matter how hard he tried, the arrow couldn't hit the rock. So don't be too proud. You were just angry. That's why you were lucky enough to beat me," Gu Linxin said coldly. Di Haoyin looked at him expressionlessly, his eyes full of cruel revenge. "I will remember what happened today, so don't ever have a woman in the future. Don't worry, women are troublesome creatures. I will never have one in my life." Gu Linxin smiled coldly. Di Haoyin didn't say anything. He turned and left the private room. His bodyguards immediately followed him. Gu Linshin's bodyguards entered the private room and saw Gu Linshin sitting on the sofa. The inside of the private room was almost completely destroyed. Gu Linshin naturally didn't want to stay any longer, so he left the private room as well. The car was waiting outside the bar, its black body bathed in the dark night. Gu Linshin got into the car and it drove away from the bar. The sound of the scooter on the hard concrete road was particularly clear in the dark night, but it also had a lively rhythm. A girl in rustic clothes with an explosive hairstyle had a big head that didn't match her slender figure at all. She paddled with one foot after another and was very good at it. It was a loud bang. The driver braked hard, but still hit someone. Gu Linshin's face darkened. Do you know how to drive? Young Master Gu, I think I hit someone. The driver said shakily. Deal with it. Gu Linshin ordered coldly. The wound at the corner of his mouth split open again, making his mood extremely bad. Di Hao Ian had really forgotten about his friends when he saw a girl. He was so ruthless to him. The chauffeur got out of the car, and the girl on the ground stood up. Young lady, are you all right? The driver asked. No. The girl raised her head, revealing her true face. The pockmarks on his face were like the stars in the sky. His complexion was sallow even in the dark of the night. When he raised his face and smiled, he revealed a row of black teeth. Coupled with his weird explosive hairstyle, it was like a ball was buckled on his head. The ugly driver almost vomited. Why'd he call her little girl just now? He was so ugly that he didn't deserve to be called that. However, the driver's mental fortitude was still quite strong. Although his heart was in a mess, he still looked calm on the surface. It's good that you're not injured. After the driver finished speaking, he got into the car. He didn't want to take another look. The girl stepped on her scooter again and slid past the car. She looked at the car window for just a moment. She slid a distance away, and the car drove away. The girl who looked like a girl slid on the scooter. She turned her head back and stared at the back of the car that was gradually disappearing. The night wind blew her explosive hairstyle. Suddenly, the corners of her mouth curled up into a smile, revealing her black teeth. Di Hao Ian appeared in the room exactly 1 hour later. At this moment, Tang Bao was not sad, uneasy, or guilty. He was sprawled out on his back and snoring loudly. Di Hao Ian's face darkened. Tang Bao had finally escaped Di Hao Ian's clutches. Of course, he had to hurry up and sleep. Besides, Di Hao Ian was completely overbearing and sensitive. There was nothing between her and Gu Linshin. She didn't like Gu Linshin, and Gu Linshin didn't like her either. He was just a jerk who had nothing better to do. That was all. Therefore, she wouldn't bring any psychological burden to herself. Otherwise, wouldn't she be indirectly admitting that there was something between her and Gu Linshin? Early in the morning, Tang Bao, who was not ravaged, slept comfortably. Every cell in his body felt like it was being treated well. Oh, Tang Bao narrowed his eyes comfortably and stretched. Then, he realized that something was wrong. He turned his head and saw Di Hao Ian sleeping next to him. He immediately screamed, "Ah!" Di Hao Ian frowned. What are you screaming for? Di Hao Ian, what happened to your face? Tang Bao asked in disbelief. Di Hao Ian's face was full of big and small cuts. They had not been treated, and there were even bloodstains on them. Di Hao Ian looked at her coldly. What do you think? It can't be, it can't be. Tang Bao was a little frightened. I don't have to scratch your face when I sleep, right? We've been together for more than a day or two. Di Hao Ian got out of bed and went straight to the bathroom. Di Hao Ian, don't clean your face. Before Tang Bao could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by the slamming of the door. Tang Bao sighed bitterly. Did he want her to use it to appease Di Hao Ian? No way. She would never do that. The sound of water came from the bathroom. Tang Bao got out of bed and walked barefoot to the bathroom door. He put his face close to the door and said to Di Hao Ian, Di Hao Ian, can you hear me? There was only the sound of water. Di Hao Ian, I know you can definitely hear me. Are you still angry about what happened yesterday? However, that was really a misunderstanding. And after thinking about it, I feel that Gu Linshin did that for a purpose. He must have done it on purpose so that Wan Malay would see it. It's not like you don't know that Wan Malay likes Gu Linshin. In this way, Juan Malay would misunderstand, and Juan Malay would no longer like Gu Linshan. But I have to say that Gu Linshan is a sinister and shameless person. He only wants to achieve his own goals and forgot about the friendship between Juan Malay and me. Now, Juan Malay is very angry with me. I'm also very innocent, Tang Bao said as he scratched the door with his fingers, making a squeaking sound. Then, the sound of water responded to him. Tang Bao sighed deeply. This man was much scarier than a woman when he was angry. It was scarier when he was silent, wasn't it? The door opened in front of her, and Di Haoyan appeared in front of her. His eyes were gloomy. What do you want to talk to me about? Chapter 295. Tang Bao staggered and was dragged into the bathroom. In her shock, the door was slammed shut behind her. Her vision blurred. I don't want to wash up. Tang Bao wanted to run, but she didn't succeed. Di Haoyan's big hand slapped the wall. Tang Bao stood upright and looked at the imposing Di Haoyan in shock. This scene was too familiar. Didn't it happen 2 days ago? She recalled. What do you think of? Di Haoyan asked. Di Haoyan, what are you going to do? Her voice trembled. What do you think? Can't you tell? Di Haoyan's gaze was deep. Want to rest? Yes. Tang Bao nodded vigorously with an innocent look. You still want to run away in this state? Tang Bao was stunned. What did she look like? She looked down. Tang Bao's face turned red, and she hugged herself tightly. It's too late now, Di Haoyan said. No, I want to take leave. Tang Bao shouted anxiously. Have you written the leave request? I'll write it now. I can't wait. Tang Bao was glad that she could rest for the night. Now, she encountered Di Haoyan, who was even more aggressive. Tang Bao really couldn't take it anymore. When Tang Bao woke up, it was already time for dinner. She felt as if her whole body was falling apart. Just as she was about to turn around, Tang Bao didn't need to turn around to know who it was. You're awake? Are you hungry? Feeling the person in his arms move, Di Haoyan immediately woke up and asked. Tang Bao didn't speak. She was passively resisting. Are you angry? Di Haoyan's low and hoarse voice was right beside her ear. Tang Bao was so angry that she directly covered her entire head with the blanket. She didn't want to listen to Di Haoyan. As soon as she heard it, she felt that all the bones in her body hurt. Or should we eat like lunch? Tang Bao, who was hiding under the blanket, suddenly froze. He wished he could find a hole to hide in. She was so anxious that she immediately threw the blanket away. Her face was red with anger. Di Haoyan, how dare you treat me like that? Then do you want to eat? Di Haoyan hooked her pretty chin, ignoring the anger on her face. To him, there was only cuteness and nothing else. Tang Bao pouted and glared at the devil. After weighing the pros and cons, he said reluctantly, Eat. Di Haoyan swallowed her mouth before letting go and getting off the bed. As soon as Di Haoyan left, Tang Bao lay on the bed in despair. If he had known that he would not be able to escape in the end, he might as well have died earlier and reincarnated earlier. How did she meet such a terrifying person like Di Haoyan? While he was being fed by Di Haoyan, Tang Bao was playing with his phone and did not even look up. When the chopsticks and spoon reached his mouth, he naturally opened his mouth. Di Haoyan's dark eyes narrowed slightly. He saw what he was doing on the phone screen and did not say anything. He was stuffing Tang Bao's favorite meat into her mouth. When he was almost done eating, Tang Bao showed Di Haoyan the phone screen. Here, the leave request for the night after tomorrow. Approved. Di Haoyan's face was unfathomable. He was so easy to talk to that Tang Bao was suddenly moved to tears. But you have to pay it back. What? Tang Bao was stunned. Are you going to deduct the money? Yes. I don't like money, Di Haoyan said. If you don't like it, why do you earn so much money? For you to spend, Di Haoyan said indifferently. Tang Bao's face heated up. Then, she looked at Di Haoyan pitifully to gain sympathy. I don't want to pay it back. How about I take a day off? Just tonight? It depends. Tang Bao's face fell. She threw the phone aside and lay on the bed. You're not eating anymore? No. Tang Bao shouted with her face buried in the pillow. Di Haoyan had fed her a lot, so she was not hungry anymore. She stood up and went to the living room to eat. Tang Bao lifted her face from the pillow. She did not see Di Hao Ian. She was so angry that she bit her lip. When it was time to sleep at night, Tang Bao did not want Di Hao Ian to see her. She was afraid that something would go wrong. However, when she deliberately moved to the side, Di Hao Ian's arm tightened. Then, she was restrained again. Baby, don't keep moving. Tang Bao was so scared that her forehead was sweating. When did I move? If I say there is, there is. Tang Bao cursed in her heart. Yes, 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 whatever you say is right. You're so domineering. Halfway through her sleep, Tang Bao felt her body heating up. Tang Bao, who was extremely sleepy, was struggling between sleeping and her body. Put out the fire. Tang Bao hated the weekends. In the future, she would not allow the company to have weekends. Forget it, she would work overtime. Di Hao Ian's car stopped in front of the company. Tang Bao got out of the car angrily. She had not even talked to Di Hao Ian. Anyway, she just wanted him to know that she was very angry. Di Hao Ian looked at Tang Bao's angry face and was in a good mood. It seemed that he had to think of a way to coax his little thing. It was the first time in his life that he coaxed a girl. Tang Bao walked into the secretary's office and said, "In the future, I want to work overtime on weekends every week." Huh? Chen Shu had been a secretary for so many years, but this was the first time she showed a dull expression. Is there a problem? Absolutely not. Then it's settled. Don't forget to arrange anything for me. Arrange anything, Tang Bao said and turned to leave. Chen Shu thought that President Tang usually had nothing to do. Why would he give up the beautiful weekends and work overtime? Of course, she did not ask these questions. Since President Tang said so, she would do as he said. Tang Bao walked into the office and saw that Wan Malay was already working in front of the office. In the past, Wan Malay would definitely tease her when he saw her. Chapter 296. Tang Bao pursed his lips. How awkward. She was still angry. It was getting late. They would have lunch in an hour. Tang Bao sat down in his chair and turned on his computer. While waiting for the computer to turn on, he looked at Wan Malay, who was working at his desk. He hesitated and asked, "Malay, what do you want to eat for lunch? I'll treat you to lunch." "Thank you, President Tang, but there's no need." Wan Malay rejected him expressionlessly. "Malay, don't be like this. It's so strange. I want to laugh." Wan Malay gritted her teeth. "I'm angry, so don't ask me anything other than work. If you annoy me again, I'll resign." Okay. I won't say any more." Tang Bao gave in to her. Gu Linshin had alienated her friendship with Wan Malay. Thinking of that bastard Gu Linshin, Tang Bao really wanted to smash him to death with a brick. Tang Bao felt very bored in the office when he couldn't talk to Wan Malay. Wan Malay had a job, but she didn't. Just as Tang Bao was sighing, he saw a door beside him. What was going on? Why was there a door there? Tang Bao walked over and pushed the door open. Then, he realized that it was a bedroom. Tang Bao walked in and out with a blank expression. He asked Wan Malay, "Malay, what's going on? Why is there a room? There wasn't one before. This is work. Can you at least answer me?" Wan Malay walked over. "President Tang, this is the lounge that young master prepared for you. You can sleep when you're tired." Tang Bao didn't have a sweet smile on his face. Instead, he felt panicked. What was Di Hao Ian thinking? Tang Bao walked into the bedroom and looked at the huge bedroom again. This was a room that was designed after the walls were knocked out. There was everything inside: a wardrobe, a bathroom, and a toilet. It was like a suite. Just 2 days during the weekend? Wasn't this a little too fast? In an instant, Tang Bao had a bad feeling. Could it be that he had let her sleep in the company and had a good rest? Tang Bao was so scared that his heart started to beat erratically. The phone on the desk rang. Tang Bao walked over and picked up the phone. When he saw the missed call, he immediately refused to answer it. There was no need to question the bedroom. No matter what Di Hao Ian did, Tang Bao felt that it was very dangerous. She didn't want to answer his call either. She also said that she would be angry if he dared to touch her. It was Di Hao Ian who did not take her words seriously. Therefore, Tang Bao wanted to let Di Hao Ian know that she was not joking. He was really angry. Let the phone ring there. Tang Bao sat in front of the computer and played her game. She did not answer the call. The phone rang once and stopped for about 10 minutes before it rang again. The Tang Bao still did not pick up. Then, a message popped up. Tang Bao stretched his neck to take a look. It was still from Di Hao Yin. She did not even open it to read. In any case, as long as it was from Di Hao Yin, she would not pick up. Her phone rang again. Tang Bao looked straight ahead and played on his computer. Juan Malay, who was at his desk, looked at the expressionless Tang Bao and couldn't help but mutter in his heart. Didn't he know how to mute the phone if he didn't want to pick it up? Didn't he know that he was disturbing other people's work? But who was the one who called? Could it be the young master? Why were the two of them fighting again? Could it be because of the Gu Linshin incident? Forget it. Who cares about her? In any case, Tang Bao should be punished. But that wasn't right. Why was Tang Bao the one being punished for not picking up the phone? It should be that Tang Bao called the young master, but the young master ignored her, right? Juan Malay did not understand. There was a knock on the door. Come in. Tang Bao's eyes moved away from the computer. Then, he saw Zhou Jisen walking in. Do you have work for me to deal with? Are you finally paying attention to me? Tang Bao asked in disbelief and eagerness. Zhou Jisen cleared his throat slightly and said, President Tang, I'm here to convey the young master's words. What words? Tang Bao was stunned. If you don't pick up the phone, I'll lock you in the castle forever. This is the young master's intention. Tang Bao slammed the table and stood up angrily. He's too much. I'm not picking up the phone. If he dares to lock me in the castle, I'll divorce him. Tell him exactly what I said. Juan Malay. Zhou Jisen looked very troubled. Then, he raised the phone in his hand and pointed the screen at Tang Bao's face. Then, Tang Bao saw that the phone was in the middle of a call. It was Di Hao Yin calling Zhou Jisen, and he even turned on a loudspeaker. Tang Bao glared at Zhou Jisen angrily. He wanted to strangle Zhou Jisen to death. This sinister villain. What did you just say? Say it again. Di Hao Yin's gloomy voice came through the phone. Tang Bao's attitude immediately changed. He smiled and said, I didn't say anything. You must have heard wrongly. Juan Malay. Zhou Jisen. Pick up the phone. Di Hao Yin's irresistible aura came through. Then, he ended the call with Zhou Jisen. Then, Tang Bao's phone on the table rang. Tang Bao felt like he was about to collapse. Zhou Jisen turned and left the office. Juan Malay directly closed the door in the middle. The two tacitly left Tang Bao alone to face Di Hao Yin's menacing presence. After a few rings, Tang Bao hurriedly picked up the phone. If he didn't pick up, the music would stop. Tang Bao picked up the phone and walked into the lounge. What? Why didn't you pick up the phone? I'm angry. Can't you see? If I'm angry, why would I pick up your phone? What's there to be angry about? Tang Bao asked righteously. Be good. Don't be angry, okay? Di Hao Yin's coaxing voice came through. Tang Bao's anger was slightly appeased, but he was still unhappy. What do you want to do with a lounge in my office? Let you rest. It's that simple. Song Bei asked in disbelief. Or what do you hope for? Di Hao Yin's low and hoarse voice came through. Tang Bao immediately said, Of course not. It's best to let me rest. I'll come over early in the afternoon and take you out to play. Huh? Where are we going? You'll know when the time comes. Take a nap after lunch. After ending the call, Tang Bao was still thinking about where Di Hao Yin was going to take her play. Unexpectedly, if only she could guess what Di Hao Yin was thinking. Such an unfathomable person. Even if Tang Bao didn't want Di Hao Yin to remind her, she began to yawn after lunch. Then she went straight into the lounge. She fell on the bed. Tang Bao fell asleep. After all, she was seriously sleep-deprived to deal with Di Hao Yin. Tang Bao didn't know how long she slept. In a daze, she felt that her body was tied up. When her mind gradually became clear, her whole body shook. Chapter 297. You're awake? Di Hao Yin said. Oh. Tang Bao struggled and asked. When did you come? I slept for a while. Tang Bao thought that she did not feel anything at all. However, she still did not want to get up. She stretched under the quilt and yawned. Her eyes were watery. They were even brighter and more moving. Di Hao Yin hugged her and his heart softened. Tang Bao was so scared that she immediately jumped up and ran away in a panic. She even panicked and accused. You said that you wouldn't be awake today. Are you awake now? Tang Bao was speechless. Could this person be any worse? The two of them left the company and got into the car. The car drove away. Tang Bao asked curiously, Di Hao Qian, where are you taking me? Can you tell me first? No. Tang Bao did not ask anymore. If it was a surprise for her, she did not mind knowing it later. An hour later, Tang Bao stood there and looked at Di Hao Qian, who was soaking in the hot spring, with a gloomy expression. He looked at her lazily. Are you coming down? Di Hao Qian said in a devilish tone. No need. Tang Bao pulled off the bath towel on her body uncomfortably. After she pulled it off, she was wearing a swimsuit underneath. At that moment, Tang Bao seemed to see Di Hao Qian's black eyes flash with a darker color. It made her panic for a moment, and she almost turned around and ran away. Di Hao Qian, you said it. Tang Bao reminded him. I mean it. Tang Bao then lifted her feet and walked into the pool. Then, she squatted down against the stone wall and soaked most of her body in the water. She immediately felt comfortable. Her nose was full of the smell of Chinese medicine. It could relieve fatigue. Come here. Tang Bao was about to close her eyes when she heard Di Hao Qian's unhappy tone. I'm right here. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he saw Di Hao Qian's face turn cold. It was so cold that it froze the water in the hot spring. Then, reluctantly, she moved closer to Di Hao Qian. When they were soaking next to Di Hao Qian, Tang Bao asked, Are you satisfied? Not satisfied. Then what do you mean by satisfied? Di Hao Qian. Tang Bao panicked. Just soak like this. Tang Bao could only relax his body and lean on it. There was no obstruction at all. He could even feel it clearly. The back was the closest to the heart, and it was also very close to Di Hao Qian's heart. Tang Bao's eyes flickered and his face was flushed. He said, The closest distance between two hearts is not an embrace, but a back-to-back. Am I right, Di Hao Qian? Di Hao Qian, I know why you're ignoring me. Do you think what I said is wrong? Tang Bao said unhappily. Think about it yourself. The back is definitely thinner than the front. Isn't it because the heart is the closest back-to-back? Di Hao Qian still did not speak. I knew it. You don't like to listen to such words. Do you look down on such words? Do you think I'm too girly? Tang Bao was unhappy, and his face was unhappy. Two people back-to-back, and the heart is on the same side? Di Hao Qian could not bear it, and said in a deep voice, Tang Bao asked, Aren't they on the same side? My heart is on the left. If you turn around, they were really not on the same side. Tang Bao was shocked at his own stupidity. His face suddenly turned red. The distance between two hearts was the current position. They were on the same side, and it had to be a man hugging from behind to be the closest distance to the heart. Have you thought it through? I was confused just now. Tang Bao's eyes darted around as he looked at the sky. With this kind of brain, I don't know how you studied in school. The corner of Tang Bao's mouth twitched, and he said unhappily, Didn't you ask around before you married me? I promise I can change your life. I'm smart enough. I don't need a smart wife, Di Hao Qian said matter-of-factly. Humph, you must be an ignorant and incompetent person in school. The kind of person who fights, smokes, drinks, picks up girls, and changes every day. When you fail your exams, you use your family's money to buy grades. You're scolded by the teachers, and you even use your family's power to suppress them, right? Tang Bao asked. You can ask around. Once you find out, you'll only be a clingy person who can't be chased away. That powerful? Tang Bao was surprised, but not shocked. If Di Hao Qian was not powerful, would he be able to stand at the peak of power? Would he be able to control such a huge business empire? Tang Bao naturally could not compare. Ever since she was young, her grades in school had always been mediocre. She was not bad, but she was not good either. But Di Hao Qian did not have to say that she would cling to him and could not be chased away, right? But she was very clear in her heart. If she had not saved Di Hao Qian's mother, how could she have come into contact with Di Hao Qian? It was easy to pick the stars, but difficult to reach Di Hao Qian. Why did she not want to think about this topic so much? It's amazing. Tang Bao was speechless. How did they talk about such a dangerous topic? He quickly changed the topic. I want to eat. Di Hao Qian picked up the fruit. Tang Bao was still waiting. He turned around and was about to take it. However, Tang Bao instinctively opened his mouth, and the fruit was pushed into his mouth. Tang Bao bit down, and the juice overflowed his mouth. Tang Bao's face turned red, and he closed his eyes shyly. He quickly swallowed the fruit and juice. However, until the fruit was finished, Tang Bao did not succeed. His watery eyes stared at Di Haoyan weakly. "Is this how you eat? I'll show you." "No way." Tang Bao reached out to grab the fruit beside the pool and stuffed it into his mouth. If he really did that, there was no need to think about the consequences. She'd better be safe. Eat less fruit. I'll take you to eat something delicious after soaking for a while. Okay. Tang Bao's small face was facing the sky, and he narrowed his eyes comfortably. He was still chewing on the unfinished fruit when he thought of something and asked, "Di Haoyan, are we going back to the castle after eating?" "No." "Then where are we going to stay?" "You can stay wherever you want." Chapter 298. Was there a mountain in the place we drove past just now? Shall we go and stay in a tent? You don't want to? Tang Bao opened her eyes and asked. Di Haoyan narrowed his sharp black eyes and looked at Tang Bao's innocent look. This little thing was starting to think again. Di Haoyan pretended not to notice and agreed. Okay. Tang Bao suddenly felt smug in her heart. What? Would she do such an evil and dangerous thing? She felt that Di Haoyan was lying to her when he said that he would not do it at night. Then she would be deceived. Tang Bao thought that she was a smart and resourceful girl in school. Well, a real man would not talk about his past achievements. In any case, she was a smart person. After the two of them had dinner, they went to the mountain in the car. Tang Bao looked at the winding mountain road and asked, Di Haoyan, are we going to climb the mountain? No need. No need? Then how do we go up? As soon as Tang Bao finished asking, she heard the rumbling sound of a helicopter. She raised her head in shock and saw a super cool helicopter appear in the sky before slowly descending. Whose family was this? How could they fly a helicopter here? After the helicopter landed, Di Haoyan said, Let's go. Di Haoyan, is this helicopter here to pick us up? Then we don't have to climb the mountain. Tang Bao was dumbfounded. When did Di Haoyan arrange a helicopter? Until they got on the helicopter, Tang Bao was a little confused. She leaned against the window and watched the helicopter gradually rise and the mountain slowly become smaller in her eyes. Di Haoyan, aren't we being too wasteful? Why we need to rent a helicopter to climb the mountain? Tang Bao turned her head and asked Di Haoyan, who looked indifferent. The indifferent Di Haoyan turned his face and looked at her. I need to rent a helicopter to take a flight. What do you mean? Is this your plane? Tang Bao asked in confusion. Di Haoyan hugged her waist and pressed her against his sturdy chest domineeringly, saying, It's ours. Then why didn't I know you had a plane before? Tang Bao was stunned. It's not like we're going somewhere far away. Why take a plane? However, as long as you like it, I can give you anything, let alone a plane. Di Haoyan's black eyes locked onto her clear pupils. Tang Bao was extremely excited. If there was a plane, wouldn't she be able to go anywhere? Di Haoyan, I want to learn how to fly a plane. Then I can fly wherever I want. No. Why? Tang Bao's excitement was doused with cold water. There's a driver. Then can I learn how to drive? No. Why? There's a driver. Tang Bao was not convinced. Even if you have a driver, you still know how to drive, right? If you like, I'll be your driver. Tang Bao was elated when she heard that. It was no big deal that she could not learn how to drive. Di Haoyan, the king of D City, would be her driver. This was more fulfilling than anything else. Are you happy? Di Haoyan's black eyes shone with a dangerous light. Tang Bao did not notice it and nodded vigorously. Yes, that's good. Di Haoyan finished speaking. Tang Bao was stunned by the sudden turn of events. She blinked her eyes and did not struggle. She immediately struggled after that. Di Haoyan let go of her. He looked at Tang Bao's flustered and exasperated little face and stared at her with interest. I'll kick you out. Tang Bao bared her teeth to scare him. Then she turned around and faced Di Haoyan to look at the scenery outside. Di Hao Ian's eyes were smiling as he leaned lazily against the seat. After getting off the plane, Tang Bao saw a tent from afar. She asked in surprise, Di Hao Ian, when did you get someone to set it up? When I was eating. Tang Bao walked around the tent, then unzipped it and got in. She found that the quilt for sleeping at night had already been laid out. Huh. Tang Bao rolled over and somersaulted on the quilt. It was quite comfortable. Moreover, it was tightly sealed. There was no need to worry about being cold at night. There was also a pocket-sized light inside, the kind that had its own electricity. Then, Di Hao Ian went in as well. Di Hao Ian had long arms and legs, so he was not restrained when he went in. Are you satisfied? Di Hao Ian asked Tang Bao, who had a look of curiosity on her face. Yes. This is the first time I've slept in a tent. The last time I watched a horror movie. Tang Bao thought of this and turned to ask Di Hao Ian, do you think there's a murderer hiding on this mountain? Then, he would sneak up on us after we fell asleep? No, it's like this. You wanted to pee in the middle of your sleep, so you walked outside the tent. Then, the murderer who had been hiding in the dark started to attack you. He attacked you and dragged you to the murderer's hut. Then, he attacked me in the tent. What do you think? Yes. Do you think I'm so easy to fool? Everything in horror movies is fake. You're a big demon. Tang Bao glared at him and then pounced on Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian groaned. Tang Bao was so scared that he quickly let go and dodged to the side. She did not get any benefits at all. When it was time to sleep at night, Tang Bao was not willing to sleep. He was very energetic. He thought about the place where he was. It was right in the middle of the mountaintop, surrounded by mountains and forests. It was quite refreshing. Di Hao Ian, who was sleeping next to him, did not expect Tang Bao to sleep so early. He got up. Di Hao Ian, what are you doing? Tang Bao asked. Yes. Tang Bao thought of the murderer that he mentioned just now. He quickly sat up and tugged at Di Hao Ian's clothes. I'll go too. With me? Di Hao Ian looked at the small hand that was tugging at him with an evil look in his eyes. Are you scared? Tang Bao raised his chin proudly. I'm not scared. I'm just worried that you're not safe in the mountains and forests alone. Think about it. Your status is much more noble than mine. If anything happens, you'll lose a lot, right? No one can hurt me. Don't worry. Di Hao Ian said, pulled back his clothes, and went out. Tang Bao was left sitting alone in the tent. She wanted to curse, but if she cursed, wouldn't it reveal her timid feelings? Moreover, what if the murderers were to be attracted by the sound of her voice? Oh, right, there shouldn't be any wolves on this mountain, right? What if there were wolves? Tang Bao felt that she could not think about it anymore. She would tremble all over if she thought about it. Really, why did she mention the murderer for no reason? She originally wanted to scare Di Hao Ian, but she scared herself instead. Besides, how could Di Hao Ian be so easily scared? Chapter 299. Tang Bao waited in the tent nervously. After waiting for a while, Di Hao Ian did not come back. Where did he go to pee? He couldn't have gone so far, right? Di Hao Ian could deal with murderers. What if the murderers were scared away by Di Hao Ian and killed her instead? The more Tang Bao thought about it, the more panicked she became. She could not help but shout, Di Hao Ian, are you done peeing? Where did you go to pee? Did you have to go so far? As soon as she finished shouting, the zipper opened. Di Hao Ian came in. Tang Bao's little heart returned to normal, and her face returned to normal. Where did you go? Tang Bao's face was full of anger. Why, are you scared? Di Hao Ian's lips curled into a wicked smile. Tang Bao refused to admit her mistake. Of course I'm not scared. I'm just afraid that you'll be taken away by the bad guys. Di Hao Ian looked at her slightly red face and approached her. What are you doing? Tang Bao's face turned even redder. Di Hao Ian's black eyes were so deep that she could not see the bottom. Tang Bao's little heart tightened. She looked at Di Hao Ian's boundless black eyes with a tense body. The overwhelming pressure in the air shrouded her deeply, and she felt like a boulder would fall on her at any time. However, at this dangerous moment, her eyes suddenly darkened. Hey, why are the lights off? Tang Bao looked around with wide eyes. Di Hao, can you see me? Di Hao Ian asked in the darkness. Tang Bao adapted to the darkness and only then could she see Di Hao Ian's silhouette and his facial features hidden in the darkness. They were deep and difficult to describe. However, she could see those black eyes clearly because they were darker and deeper than the darkness. I see you. What are you doing? Are you going to sleep? Before Tang Bao finished speaking, she saw green fluorescent lights rising slowly in the darkness. Many of them were flying around. It was extremely breathtaking. Tang Bao stared at the dancing green fluorescent lights in astonishment. He did not even blink. The interesting green fluorescence made Tang Bao happy. Where did it come from? What is this? Tang Bao asked in surprise. Firefly. Fireflies? Di Hao Ian, do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid who doesn't understand? Fireflies only appear in summer. They won't appear in this season, Tang Bao said in disbelief. However, if he didn't believe it, what was it that was emitting such a fluorescent light? The hot spring is warm, and there will be fireflies at night. I caught it for you while you were eating. Do you like them? Tang Bao was so surprised that he was speechless. No wonder Di Hao Ian walked out of the private room during the meal. She wondered what he was going to do, but she never thought that he was going to catch fireflies. Fireflies fluttered around her and over her head. Tang Bao had never seen fireflies before. She had only seen them on TV or in books. She was amazed and also moved by Di Hao Ian's actions. Di Hao Ian's dark eyes became clearer in her eyes. Tang Bao's heart was pounding, like a deer running around. Di Hao Ian, I'm so happy. What should I do? Tang Bao asked. Di Hao Ian's long arm wrapped around her. What's the problem? We're on the mountain. Tang Bao felt that it was too bold to act like this outside. As long as there is love in your heart, anywhere is a stage, Di Hao Ian said hoarsely. Tang Bao lost consciousness. She could only think intermittently. Didn't Di Hao Ian say that he wouldn't do it tonight? Why did it become so out of control? Tang Bao didn't have the consciousness to think about it anymore. Her mind was in a mess. Only the sound of the wind could be heard. Tang Bao was annoyed by the rumbling of hunger in her stomach. She slapped her hand in the air unconsciously. Di Hao Ian, don't make noise. Di Hao Ian looked down at Tang Bao's sleepy face. Then, the change of environment stimulated him. Di Hao Ian didn't disturb Tang Bao. After getting dressed, he helped Tang Bao put on her clothes. After putting on her clothes, he carried her to the helicopter. Tang Bao didn't have any intention of waking up. The helicopter was louder and wasn't on silent mode. Di Hao Ian directly put on the earphones for her on the plane. Therefore, Tang Bao slept all the way to the hotel. Di Hao Ian carried her back to the big bed in the presidential suite. Not long after, lunch was served. Then, Tang Bao turned over. The soreness in her body immediately came from all directions. She opened her eyes and met Di Hao Ian's dark eyes, who was standing by the bed and looking down at her. You woke up automatically when you smelled the food. That's a good idea. Di Hao Ian's expression was cold. Tang Bao's eyes moved. She pouted and refused to admit it. I woke up because of the pain. I'll wake you up with food next time. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment. Then, her face turned red. Don't ask her how she knew the meaning behind it. Anyway, ever since she got married, she knew everything. This isn't a tent. Where is this? Tang Bao asked belatedly. The hotel suite, Di Hao Ian said, and turned around to bring her food. After bringing it over, he was about to feed Tang Bao. You don't have to feed me. I can eat. You can eat by yourself. Tang Bao said, don't be shy. I had a good time last night. Tang Bao's face turned red. Can you not talk about this in broad daylight? You don't have to be shy during the day. Tang Bao was speechless. Don't talk about this in broad daylight. So, she shouldn't be shy? But how could she be as thick-skinned as Di Hao Ian? She didn't blush at all. Embarrassed, Tang Bao took a bite of the food in front of her. She bit it as if it was Di Hao Ian. She couldn't bite Di Hao Ian's muscles. That was all she could do. The two of them ate and returned to the castle when it was close to night. Tang Bao felt that they weren't going out to have fun. Seriously, a few fireflies were enough to make her compromise. What a good-for-nothing. Tang Bao was so tired that she fell asleep in the car. When she woke up, it was already the next day. Chapter 300. But she still went to the office. After all, she hoped that she could hang around the office a little longer so that Juan Malay would be soft-hearted and talk to her. But Juan Malay didn't even look at her for the whole morning, except for the routine business. Tang Bao was depressed. She couldn't stay in the office any longer, so she went to Zhou Jison's office. Just as she was about to return to the office, her phone rang. Tang Bao took it out and was so shocked that her hand trembled and the phone almost fell to the ground. Her heart ached when the phone broke. Di Hao Ian had bought it for her. She had already lost one. She hated that bastard Gu Linxin even more. She picked up the phone and cursed, "How dare you call me? Do you know that you've caused me so much trouble? My good friend is still ignoring me. I can't wait to slap you into outer space. Are you done?" Gu Linxin's deep voice came from the other end. "No, let me tell you, Gu Linxin, I've never seen a man as bad as you. I despise what he did to you, super despise." Tang Bao roared. Gu Linxin gripped the phone so hard that the veins on the back of his hand were twitching. His expression was terrifying, but his voice didn't seem to change. "I can help you with something." "What is it?" "Ask Juan Malay to forgive you." "Really? You'll be so kind?" Tang Bao was doubtful. "I'm downstairs in your office now." "I don't know your office. Come and take me there. I'll explain it to her personally." "Why do you want me to take you there personally?" "I'll ask my secretary to take you there." "Do you think anyone else is worthy?" "Of course, the biggest company will take you there. I'll give you 3 minutes." "I don't have the patience. Also, you're the only one allowed to come." Tang Bao was about to say something, but Gu Linxin hung up the phone. Tang Bao was speechless. Thinking about Gu Linxin's identity, that was indeed the case. "But if you want to put on such airs, why did you still come? My small company can't accommodate a big Buddha like you." However, Tang Bao hesitated when he thought of what Gu Linxin had said. Would Gu Linxin really help her explain to Juan Malay? Also, why did Gu Linxin want her to go alone? Tang Bao was not afraid of him. Besides, what if Gu Linxin did something to her again? She knocked him out with a brick. Hence, Tang Bao went downstairs. She saw Gu Linxin's car at the company building. Tang Bao did not go over. Instead, he walked across the road. Sitting in the car, Gu Linxin observed Tang Bao's behavior. Then his phone rang. He answered, "Come to my car. Come to the coffee shop opposite. I'll sit here and wait for you." Gu Linxin sneered. "Trying to play tricks with me? 3 minutes have passed. Wait patiently." He threw his phone aside and ordered the driver go. Tang Bao sat in his seat, depressed. Looking at the entrance of her company, Gu Linxin had really left. This man was really abominable. Well, how could anyone who was friends with Di Hao Hian be easy to deal with? Just as Tang Bao's face was contorted in anger, he felt someone standing beside the table. He turned around and looked. "Oh my Dima!" Tang Bao was scared out of his wits. His whole body was pressed against the back of the chair. He stared at the girl standing beside the table in shock. She was wearing dirty clothes, her face was sallow, and there were all kinds of big and small freckles on her face. Her hairstyle was explosive. It was like the aftermath of a bomb thrown into her hair. "Can I sit across from you?" the girl asked. "Yes. Yes." Tang Bao did not know why he said yes. Perhaps she was too scared to come back to her senses. The girl sat down opposite him and smiled at Tang Bao. "Thank you." She revealed a black tooth. Tang Bao told himself over and over again not to judge a book by its cover. "Never. My name is Luo Luoli." "Hello. Is that your real name?" Tang Bao asked. Otherwise, why would she tell a stranger her name so casually? "It's my real name. My mother gave it to me." "Does it sound nice?" "It sounds nice." Tang Bao thought the name was interesting, but the way she was dressed was strange. Can I not say my name? If I say I'll help you deal with Gu Linxin, are you willing to tell me your name?" "Tang Bao." Loli Luo laughed. Her black tooth was domineering. Tang Bao was speechless. How did that tooth grow? Then he calmed himself down and asked, "Do you have a grudge against Gu Linxin?" "I have a huge grudge against him," Luo Loli said with certainty. "Then how do you want to help me?" Luo Loli stood up, leaned in front of Tang Bao, and whispered in her ear. Tang Bao felt that although Luo Loli's whole body was very unpleasant to the eyes, she had a faint body fragrance. Also, She noticed that Luo Luoli's eyes were very bright, like the stars in the night sky. However, when Luo Luoli told her about her revenge plan, Tang Bao was shocked. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Don't you think you're at a disadvantage? Tang Bao was not sure. Gu Linshan's only weakness is that he's a clean freak. Tang Bao had never seen such revenge. Was this the heroic spirit of hurting the enemy 800 times and sacrificing 1,000 times? But she had to admit that it was very special. At noon, Di Hao Ian came to have lunch with her. At the dining table, Tang Bao tried not to hide anything with her watery eyes. Could she tell him that she was part of the revenge plan? She could not let Di Hao Ian know that she was used as bait. Say it. What? Tang Bao, who was in a daze, was stunned. She raised her head and met Di Hao Ian's extremely sharp eyes. She was in danger of getting into her soul. What are you thinking about? Before you deny it, think about whether you can escape from my eyes. Di Hao Ian warned her. Tang Bao was so shocked that she swallowed her saliva. Do you really want to say it? It's fake. Tang Bao cleared her throat. I encountered something very interesting today. Okay, I'll tell you everything. In the morning, Gu Linshan called me. Hearing this, Di Hao Ian's face darkened. The whole private room became cold. Listen to me first. Tang Bao, who was affected, quickly said, If I don't ask, will you not tell me? Chapter 301. You agree? I agreed. After saying that, Tang Bao observed Di Hao Ian's expression, afraid that he would be unhappy. After all, that was his friend. Would he be unhappy that his friend had been schemed against like that? You should have told me about such a good thing earlier, Di Hao Ian said calmly. Huh? Aren't you angry? Tang Bao asked. Angry? You seem to have forgotten what I told you. Di Hao Ian began to interrogate her and looked at her coldly. Tang Bao took a step back and asked, What did you say? Then tell me, how are you going to lure Gu Linshan out? Tell me. Di Hao Ian's face didn't show whether he was angry or not. That, I haven't thought about it yet. In fact, Tang Bao had already thought about it. Anyway, didn't Gu Linshan tease her all day long? And she would flirt with him back. Anyway, it wouldn't be for real. However, Tang Bao knew very well that in front of the domineering Di Hao Ian, even if it wasn't for real, it was still unforgivable. She wasn't that stupid, and she didn't want to see the sun rise tomorrow. Di Hao Ian glanced at her coldly. Tang Bao pursed her lips guiltily and blinked her watery eyes innocently. Di Hao Ian retracted his oppressive gaze and said, I'll drug him. Tang Bao was surprised. Why? Di Hao Ian looked at her with a dark and scary gaze. He will find out if you drug him, and I've been waiting for this day for a long time. During the last fight, Di Hao Ian couldn't vent his anger at all. To him, physical pain was not enough to torture a person. Could Tang Bao say that friends were meant to be tricked? She had always thought that Gu Linshan was flirting with Di Hao Ian's wife and trying to steal his woman. Di Hao Ian was really unlucky to have made such a friend. Now, he felt that both of them were terrifying. It was as if they were enemies. Sure enough, the more powerful a person was, the more perverted their way of doing things would be. When will it be? Tonight. Tang Bao was stunned. Di Hao Ian couldn't wait any longer. After Tang Bao returned to the company, he hid in the corridor and sneakily called Luo Luoli. Is there a problem tonight? No problem. I'm ready at any time. Tang Bao rubbed his nose. It was my husband who drugged us. He said that Gu Linshan would find out. That's great. Luo Luoli seemed very happy. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead, Luo Luoli asked. What's the grudge between you and Gu Linshan? Tang Bao would not believe that a stranger would help her take revenge for no reason. I just want to help you take revenge. Do you think I'll believe you? If I don't tell you, will you not let me take revenge? Of course not. I'm just curious. Tang Bao knew that Luo Luoli did not want to talk about it, so he did not continue to ask. Even if she wanted to repent, Di Hao Ian would not let her. At night, in a luxurious bar, Gu Linshan was drinking and having fun with other people in a private room. One of his men came over and whispered something in his ear. Gu Linshin raised his dark eyebrows. Is he looking for trouble again? I don't think so. He went to another private room with his wife. Gu Linshin was stunned. He came to a place like this with his wife? The corners of his mouth curled up coldly. How interesting. The door to Di Haoyan's private room was pushed open by one of his men. Gu Linshin's tall figure leaned against the door frame and looked at the couple inside. Di Haoyan, why did you bring her to a place like this? Why didn't you tie her to your pants? Tang Bao was speechless. Di Haoyan said without changing his expression, That's exactly what I was thinking. Gu Linshin walked in and sat down on the sofa opposite them. He glanced at each of them coldly. Why do I have a strange feeling? Tang Bao lowered his gaze and kept eating from the fruit plate. Di Haoyan's expression did not change. Then go back to where you came from. Gu Linshin leaned forward and picked up a bottle of wine to pour himself. He was ready to stay here and not leave. Just as he was about to drink, Tang Bao became excited. Gu Linshin noticed the change in Tang Bao's expression. However, just as he felt that something was wrong, he heard Di Haoyan say, 100 million for a sip of wine. Puffed. Tang Bao spat out the fruit in his mouth. He interrupted Gu Linshin's observation. Are you robbing me? The wine in your glass is worth that much, Di Haoyan said. Then I'll owe you, Gu Linshin said. He tilted his head back and drank the wine in one gulp. Tang Bao saw that there was not a drop left. Di Haoyan was still the best. She had almost exposed herself just now. Fortunately, Di Haoyan had spoken. Sure enough, if she and Luo Luoli had been the ones to plot, they would have been exposed. Your man is right beside you. Isn't it inappropriate for you to stare at me like that? Gu Linshin leaned back in his chair and looked straight at Tang Bao. Tang Bao felt Di Haoyan's cold gaze and quickly lowered his eyes. She did not have any other intentions. She just wanted to see how Gu Linshin would faint. Di Haoyan retracted his gaze from Tang Bao and looked at Gu Linshin. What does my wine taste? 100 million yuan worth of wine naturally has its benefits. Gu Linshin said. His expression changed slightly. He felt that something was wrong with his body. He looked at Di Haoyan's deep eyes and saw a hint of calculation. Did you drug me again? Tang Bao was puzzled. Why did Gu Linshin say again? Di Haoyan's lips curled into a devilish smile. Don't worry, it's not this time. Tang Bao was speechless. No matter how strong Gu Linshin was, Di Haoyan's drug was even stronger. Just as he was about to stand up, he blacked out and fell onto the sofa. Gu Linshin pinched his eyebrows tightly and tried to wake up. His voice was weak. Di Haoyan, I'll return everything you've done to me. Let's wait and see. Tang Bao followed Di Haoyan out of the bar. Before they got into the car, Tang Bao could not help but ask, Di Haoyan, did you drug Gu Linshin like that? Why? I don't like him. This reason was so powerful that she was speechless. Gu Linshin was groggily helped to the presidential suite that had been booked in advance. His subordinates did not suspect anything and thought that he had drunk too much. Moreover, the other party was Di Haoyan. They would not think too much. In the room, Luo Luoli had been waiting for a long time. Di Haoyan's subordinates left after sending Gu Linshin to the big bed in the room. Luo Luoli walked out of the bathroom. She had just taken a shower and was wrapped in a white towel. Her hairstyle was explosive and her face was ugly. But other than that, her skin below her neck was as white as snow. It made people think of beautiful things. Chapter 302. Luo Luoli climbed onto the bed barefooted and knelt beside Gu Linshin. She looked at the tall figure lying on the bed. She was thinking about where to start. Gu Linshin was not in a deep coma. He felt like he was drunk. His mind was not clear and his body was out of control. She opened her eyes slightly and felt the blurry figure beside her. She could not see clearly. Luo Luoli reached out and unbuttoned Gu Linshin's clothes. She had wasted a tremendous amount of her strength. Because Gu Linshin was heavy, Luo Luoli thought that even if she did not do it for real, she could not be ignorant. So she lifted the blanket a little. She was so scared that she loosened her grip on the corner of the blanket. Fortunately, it was just a fake. If it was real, she would be dead. Luo Luoli burrowed under the blanket and leaned tightly against Gu Linshin. She hugged Gu Linshin. When Gu Linshin woke up, it was already the next morning. He felt a second person on the bed. His gaze sharpened. He turned around and saw the person sleeping beside him. Her back was facing him. The blanket was pulled up to her shoulders, exposing her shoulders. However, when Gu Linshin's gaze fell on her hairstyle, the shock of seeing her fair and tender skin disappeared. Gu Linshin saw this scene the moment he opened his eyes. He naturally knew what was going on. He had been drugged by Di Hao Ian and then arranged for a woman to sleep with him. Gu Linshin's gaze was as cold as an ice house. Luo Luoli rubbed her eyes and showed signs of waking up. Then she turned over. Gu Linshin's deep gaze revealed her tragic face. Gu Linshin's sharp gaze looked at the woman on his bed in disbelief. Luo Luoli's first reaction when she saw Gu Linshin was to scream. She hurriedly sat up and realized that she was not wearing anything. She immediately covered herself with the blanket. Who are you? What did you do to me? What did you do to me? Gu Linshin's gaze was no longer just an ice house. It was full of viciousness, and his entire body was emitting a gloomy aura. This was the woman Di Hao Ian had found for him. Gu Linshin wanted to say that Di Hao Ian had achieved his goal of revenge. He wanted to kill someone. Who are you? Do you know that I have never had a boyfriend? How could you bully me like this? Luo Luoli with tears in her eyes. She looked pitiful, as if she had been humiliated. Gu Linshin's voice was as cold as ice. You should take a look at yourself before you talk to me. What? Why? Loli Luo suddenly stopped talking. She stared straight at Gu Linshin. Gu Linshin's face darkened as he asked, Do you want me to gouge your eyes out? Why do I feel that you look like my uncle? Luo Luoli asked blankly. Gu Linshin's entire body emitted a cold aura that made one's hair stand on end. He already had the intention to kill. Killing someone was a piece of cake for him. His name is Gu. Gu something Shun? No, it should be Gu something Lin. Luo Luoli racked her brains to think. Gu Linshin's gaze was fierce. He grabbed her hand. Be gentle. It hurts. It hurts. Luo Luoli was in so much pain that she kept gasping. His strength was too great. It hurt when he grabbed someone. It hurt to the bone. Gu Linshin looked at her sinisterly. Who are you? Me? My name is Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli introduced herself and asked, Are you my uncle or not? If you're not, I'm going to call the police. You have to bear legal responsibility for insulting me. Gu Linshin's black eyes were stunned. Then he asked coldly, What's your mother's name? Luo Meiwan. What's wrong? Gu Linshin's black eyes stared fixedly at Luo Luoli's unrecognizable face. He seemed to be trying to find a trace of her. You're not really my uncle, are you? How dare you treat me like this? Luo Luoli sobbed and struggled to get off the bed. She clutched the blanket tightly. She looked desperate. I'm going to tell my mother. Boo-hoo. Mother, your brother insulted me. Shut up. We're not related by blood. Gu Linshin roared. Luo Luoli was so scared that she trembled. She didn't dare to cry anymore. She looked at Gu Linshin with tears in her eyes. She felt wronged. Gu Linshin got off the bed in annoyance. He picked up the shirt on the floor and put it on. The cold air around him made it impossible to get close to him. Luo Luoli looked at his broad back. She pursed her lips and raised her eyebrows. She stood there obediently and didn't move. After putting on his shirt, Gu Linshin turned around and looked at her with a gloomy expression. I'll ask you again. I don't know either. I was playing in a bar. Then I drank too much. In a daze, I felt someone hugging me. When I woke up, I was already here. Gu Linshin's expression turned even colder. You said you've never had a boyfriend before? Was this your first time? Yes. Luo Luoli nodded. Gu Linshin lifted the blanket and was stunned. Seeing this, Loli Luo immediately began to cry softly. Gu Linshin was extremely irritable. He had no memory of what happened last night. Little uncle, woo-woo. Loli Luo was extremely sad. You don't have to call me little uncle. We're not related by blood. Gu Linshin shot a cold look at Luo Luoli. In a few strides, he was in front of Luo Luoli. Luo Loli picked up the blanket and distanced herself from the scary Gu Linshin. She was extremely agitated. You, I'm going to tell my mother. Not only did you insult me, but what else do you want? How am I going to face anyone in the future? Gu Linshin really wanted to strangle Luo Loli. Gu Linshin pointed at the door. Get out of my sight immediately. Little uncle, call me that again, and I'll cut your tongue off. Luo Loli bit her lip. This action made her face even more ugly. However, under Gu Linshin's gloomy pressure, she still picked up her clothes from the floor and ran to the bathroom. Luo Loli was so frightened that she almost collapsed on the floor when she entered the bathroom. She didn't know she had been fooled. She had already put on a good show. She had even pinched herself into pieces of red marks. Chapter 303. Luo Loli walked out of the bathroom in her rustic clothes. Gu Linshin's face turned even colder, and the atmosphere became even scarier. Seeing that Gu Linshin was not to be trifled with, Luo Loli's eyes darted around, and something flickered in them. Seeing that Gu Linshin had no intention of speaking, she took the initiative and said, "Don't you have anything to say to me? Why don't you give me some money?" Gu Linshin looked at her coldly. "I'm not blackmailing you. I don't want much. Why don't you give me $100? Gu Linshin looked at her coldly. Luo Loli waved her hand and said, "Forget it. I'll just take it that I'm unlucky." With that, she walked out of the suite in low spirits. She left. Gu Linshin's expression did not improve, and his eyes were still gloomy. He opened the door and ordered his men outside. Follow her in secret. Yes. Gu Linshin walked out of the suite, left the hotel, and got into the car. The car drove away. Gu Linshin sat in the back seat, his eyes dark. Luo Meijuan's original name was Gu Xianglin. She was the adopted daughter of the Gu family and his eldest sister. When she was 18, she eloped with another man and got pregnant. At that time, the head of the Gu family, who was his father, was furious. He chased Gu Xianglin out of the Gu family and forbade her from using the name Gu Xianglin. In the end, Gu Xianglin did not look back. She resolutely left with the man outside. When she came back, it was already 5 years later. The man she had to marry had another woman not long after she gave birth to the child. He even used domestic violence. Gu Xianglin had no choice but to bring the child back to the Gu family. Her determination at that time made old master Gu bitterly disappointed, and he did not like her. At that time, the child, although many years had passed, he did not forget that delicate little face. She was as fair as a porcelain doll and looked at him with watery eyes. How did she become like this? It could only be described as horrifying. In terms of time, Luo Loli was only 17 years old. Luo Loli was wandering outside. Her stomach was growling with hunger. She didn't have much money left. He couldn't eat and drink too much either. How stingy. He wouldn't even give her 100 yuan. When it was dark, Luo Loli bought a big bag of steamed buns. He went under the sky bridge. Inside was the beggar's nest. Many homeless beggars slept here. The floor was covered with blankets that were picked up from a trash can. Naturally, the blankets and clothes that covered their bodies were also picked up from the trash can. Every beggar had their own specific position. The female beggar was leaning against the wall. Her body was dirty from head to toe. She was scratching her leg lazily with one hand. Luo Loli walked over, put the steamed bun on her body, and sat down on the quilt next to her. Whose quilt is this? Was my position taken by someone else? Luo Loli asked. No, I want to pick it up for you. It's cold at night. One quilt isn't enough. That's great. You're such a sister. Luo Loli patted her shoulder. Don't get too excited. I just want to look for clothes and saw a quilt, so I picked it up for you. In terms of begging, you definitely don't have as much experience as I. Red 7. Red 7 took a big bite of the steamed bun and nodded. This steamed bun is fragrant and delicious. Isn't it fragrant? Eat more. Luo Loli also took a steamed bun and nibbled on it. By the way, you haven't been around all day. Did you go begging? How much did you get? I didn't get a single cent. Luo Lolly chewed on the steamed bun and said unconvincingly, "The other party is also a big financial backer. I'm telling you, you don't have much experience in this area. The more you look at the rich person, the harder it is to get. The next time you beg, look for a couple walking on the road or an elder with a child. These are the easiest to beg, because parents want to teach their children to be loving. Do you understand?" Red 7 said, "What you said makes a lot of sense." Luo Luoli thought of Gu Linshin, that stingy bastard, and was filled with hatred. Fortunately, nothing happened between them. Otherwise, she would have suffered a huge loss. However, she couldn't possibly be serious. Luo Luoli sighed. As night fell, even beggars needed to sleep. At night, the Luo Luoli's bed was next to Hong Chi's, and below her was a male beggar. It was easy for the wind to get in under the sky bridge, so they had to curl up under their blankets at night. Luo Luoli curled up under the blanket and quickly fell asleep. The other beggars also began to fall asleep. The beggar, who was supposed to be asleep, raised his head and saw that Loli was already asleep. He reached out his hand and quietly touched Luo Luoli's quilt. Luo Luoli was in a deep sleep, completely unaware that a hand was approaching. Just as his hand reached under the blanket, but before he could reach the Luo Luoli, a shadow shrouded over him. The male beggar's body trembled, and he felt a chill run up his spine. He slowly raised his head, and when he met the pair of gloomy and terrifying black eyes, he was so scared that he didn't dare to move. Gu Linshin raised his foot and stepped on the male beggar's arm, crushing it with force. The sound of bones breaking and the beggar's screams could be heard in the air. His screams woke all the beggars up, including Luo Luoli. What happened? What happened? Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshin, who suddenly appeared under the bridge in astonishment. His tall and straight figure was so scary at this moment, and his face was full of malice and ferocity. He stepped on a male beggar's arm and kept crushing it. The male beggar was still screaming in pain. His screams echoed in the empty bridge. What was going on? Why was Gu Linshin doing this to a beggar? When the beggar was in so much pain that he couldn't scream anymore, Gu Linshin released his foot and ordered his men, "Throw him into the river." The river was under the bridge, and he would definitely die if he was thrown into it. Luo Luoli couldn't believe that Gu Linshin appeared to take their lives. People like them were worthless in Gu Linshin's eyes. But Luo Luoli was different. She immediately stopped him. "Wait, why are you doing this? Did he do something wrong? This is my order." Gu Linshin grabbed Luo Luoli and dragged her out of the bridge. Hey, what are you doing?" Luo Luoli wanted to break free, but the grip was too strong. The more she struggled, the more her wrist hurt. "Little uncle, what are you doing?" "Little uncle?" Luo Luoli had forgotten that she couldn't call him little uncle, but what else could she call him? Luo Luoli was thrown into the car. She sat in the car and looked at Gu Linshin, who also got into the car. After the door was closed, the car drove away. Luo Luoli was confused about her current situation. Wasn't he the one who made her disappear? What was the situation now? "Call your mother now." Gu Linshin threw the phone to her. Chapter 304. Do I have to repeat myself? Gu Linshin said coldly. Luo Luoli muttered in her heart. Of course, she had to ask for the reason. Otherwise, who knew what he was going to do? Luo Luoli pressed a number and dialed it. The call was quickly picked up, and Luo Majuan's voice came from the other end. "Who is this?" "Mom, it's me." "Luo Luoli?" Luo Majuan asked anxiously. "Where are you now? How could you run out without saying anything?" "What do you mean by without saying anything? Didn't I tell you before?" "But I didn't agree. Do you know that it's dangerous for you to run out like that?" Luo Majuan was both anxious and angry. Luo Luoli bit her lip and glanced at Gu Linshin. She hesitated for a moment before saying, "I'm fine. I'm with Uncle." "What? You really want to look for him? Didn't I tell you not to go?" Where is he?" "He's right next to me." Luo Luoli handed the phone directly to Gu Linshin. Gu Linshin glanced at her coldly and took the phone. He pressed it to his ear. "You didn't know that she ran out?" His voice was cold and didn't sound like they used to be family at all. "Well, It had been more than 10 years, and they weren't related by blood. He had long forgotten about her. Luo Meiwan was stunned when she heard Gu Linshan's voice. She hesitated for a moment. Because they hadn't contacted each other for more than 10 years, this voice was still unfamiliar to her. Linshan, is that you? I'm sorry to have caused you trouble. She did tell me. I didn't agree, but she still ran out. Luo Meiwan said regretfully. I didn't teach her well. How long has she been out? Gu Linshan asked Luo Meiwan, but his eyes were still on Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli turned her face away and pretended to be innocent. About a month. Come and take her back now. Gu Linshan's tone was firm. Linshan, even if I bring her back, she will run away. This was not the first time she had run out. I don't know what to do. Luo Meijuan's voice was choked with sobs. She's in her rebellious phase now. She won't listen to anyone. Linshan, can I ask you a favor? Can you let her stay by your side for a while? I know that I'm no longer a member of the Gu family, but I only have one daughter. I want her to be well. I'll go and pick her up when she gets over outside. Is that okay? I don't have any experience in taking care of children. Gu Linshan's breath froze the air. I know. It's difficult. Actually, before Loli ran away from home, she told me that she didn't want to stay at home and wanted to find her uncle. In the past, when she was at home, she always told her that she had a little uncle. Then she remembered it and always wanted to look for you. I think she'll be willing to listen to you, Luo Meiwan said. Gu Linshan was so angry that he hung up the phone. He stared coldly at Luo Luoli, who was fidgeting. Her clothes were in a mess, her face was unrecognizable, and her hair was messy. It was the first time he had seen such a rebellious behavior. Luo Luoli didn't know what Luo Meiwan said to Gu Linshan. Anyway, Gu Linshan's expression was even worse than before. Gu Linshan tapped on the window and ordered, "Let's go to the barber shop." Luo Luoli was shocked and asked, "Why are we going to the barber shop? Who wants a haircut?" Gu Linshan's expression was cold, and he didn't say anything. Luo Luoli thought that it couldn't be for her. When they arrived at the barber shop, Gu Linshan got out of the car and pulled Luo Luoli down. Luo Luoli looked up and saw a salon with large facilities in front of her. She was stunned. In the next second, she was pulled into the salon. "Oh, young Master Gu, please come in and have a seat." A sissy man welcomed them and even raised his orchid fingers. Her hair was dyed blonde. Gu Linshan threw Luo Luoli in front of the sissy. "Change her." The sissy was shocked by Luo Luoli's appearance. He had never seen such a scary outfit. "Don't worry. When it comes to me, no matter how ugly the woman is, I'll make her walk out like a fairy," the sissy said confidently. "I don't want to." Luo Luoli was so scared that she immediately took a few steps back. "No one touch my hair. I'm fine like this. I like it. No one is allowed to touch me." Gu Linshan's expression darkened. "If I say do it, it must be done. Why should I touch my hair? It's fine as long as I like it." Luo Luoli refused to back down. Even if Gu Linshan's expression was frightening, she still wanted to protect her image. Gu Linshan's whole body emitted a cold aura. He stepped forward and grabbed Luo Luoli in the palm of his hand. He looked at her darkly. "Didn't you want to stay by my side? You have to be obedient. Then I won't stay by your side. I won't follow you. Let me go. I'll go back to the sky bridge. I'll walk back by myself. I don't need you to care about me," Luo Luoli said anxiously. She wanted to break free from Gu Linshan's strength, but her wrist hurt. She couldn't break free. Gu Linshan stared at Luo Luoli's defiant expression. He even saw tears in her eyes. It was just a hair change. Why did she have such a reaction? "Why can't I touch your hair? Do you think you look good like this?" Gu Linshan asked coldly. I like it." Luo Luoli insisted that she liked the way she looked now. Her head could be broken and blood could flow, but her hair couldn't be messed up. "Is there something wrong with your sense of beauty?" Gu Linshan almost shouted. He tried his best to suppress his temper. "Anyway, you can't make me change my appearance." Gu Linshan wanted to continue, but he found that the hand holding her was trembling. Luo Luoli's eyes were not only filled with regret, but also fear. Gu Linshan thought that she was afraid of him at first, but it was obviously more than that. "I beg you, don't change my appearance. Can you? I can promise you anything else." Little uncle, I beg you. Luo Luoli's tears fell as she spoke. She was so pitiful and helpless. Gu Linshen let go of her hand. I won't force you today, but if you want to stay by my side, you better think carefully about whether you want to change your makeup. This was the first time he had compromised with someone. Or a rebellious child couldn't do it by force? Luo Luoli stood there motionless, like a frightened bird. Why are you still standing here? Get in the car. Gu Linshen was terrifyingly cold. Luo Luoli came back to her senses and immediately ran out of the salon. She got into the car. She looked as if she would rather die than go to the salon. Gu Linshen got into the car and looked at Luo Luoli coldly. The atmosphere in the car was very oppressive. I don't have the patience to teach children. You better listen to me, or I'll send you back immediately. Gu Linshen warned her. Luo Luoli pursed her lips and said, Little uncle, I'll listen to you except for the transformation. Chapter 305. Luo Luoli thought to herself, I won't regret it, as long as I don't drive her back. The car stopped in front of a European-style mansion. Luo Luoli was stunned when she got out of the car. Do I live here? After all, it was hard to believe that someone who lived under a bridge would suddenly live in such a luxurious mansion. Live here or under the bridge, Gu Linshen said coldly. Luo Luoli smiled shamelessly. I'll live here. Gu Linshen's face turned as cold as an ice house when he saw her smile. Luo Luoli's black teeth were especially obvious under the sunlight. He felt like strangling her to death. After Luo Luoli went in, Gu Linshen's face turned even colder. He wouldn't be Gu Linshen if he didn't know who had caused all this. Anyone who schemed against him had to be prepared to be schemed against. Is this my room? Luo Luoli walked around the room and asked Gu Linshen when he walked in. Gu Linshen sat down on the sofa and crossed his long legs. He stared at her coldly. Sit down. I have something to say. Luo Luoli didn't know what Gu Linshen wanted to say, but she still sat down obediently. She leaned against the sofa and tried to find a posture. She wanted to cross her legs, but when she met Gu Linshen's frighteningly cold eyes, she chose a proper posture. She placed her hands on her knees. Little uncle, if you have something to say, just say it. I'll listen. Are you in university? Gu Linshen asked. Not yet. I'm in my 3rd year of high school. Gu Linshen's face darkened. He said coldly, You're not going to study in your 3rd year of high school? Luo Luoli didn't speak. Her eyes flashed. Are you always like this in school? Gu Linshen asked sternly. Are you talking about my outfit? Yes, I dress like this when I enter high school. I'm used to it. So, little uncle, don't make me change. If I change, I'll be in a bad mood. Luo Luoli said self-righteously. If it weren't for Gu Linshen's extraordinary restraint, Luo Luoli would have been thrown out of the window. His face darkened. I'll only take you in for a while. When the time comes, you'll go back obediently. Little uncle, can't you let me stay here? No, you're so heartless. After all, I'm your niece. Lowly Luo pouted, her expression indifferent. Gu Linshen looked at her coldly. Let me tell you first, I don't like to take care of children. Before my patience runs out, you should think about when to leave. With that, Luo Luo was as if she was a child, and looked as if she as of the as. Would she really be chased away by Gu Linshen? Gu Linshen didn't give her the impression that he was a good person. When she said that she wanted to seek refuge with her little uncle, her mother didn't agree. She said that her little uncle wasn't an ordinary person. Actually, if her little uncle was an ordinary person, she wouldn't have been so thick-skinned as to cling on to him. Since she was already here, she might as well make the best of it. She wouldn't go back anyway. Tang Bao sipped on the flip-top milk that she had just bought from the supermarket. She sipped on it with her red lips as she walked towards the elevator. She had also bought Juan Malay's favorite snacks in the bag. Of course, Juan Malay hadn't forgiven her yet. She was trying to curry favor with him. This was the first time she had a conflict with Juan Malay, and it had been a long time. When Tang Bao was leisurely, she didn't know that she was approaching a dangerous place, her office. In the office, Gu Linshan was sitting on the sofa, waiting quietly. The atmosphere in the room was very dangerous. It was as if the room was filled with gas, and there couldn't be a single spark. Wan Malay stood there motionless. Until now, she didn't know why Gu Linshan would come to Tang Bao's office. Was he here to look for Tang Bao? Then why was he emitting a creepy aura all over? It seemed like he didn't come with good intentions. Wan Malay thought that Tang Bao must have gone out to buy food now. If she didn't go out to buy food in the afternoon, she would feel uncomfortable all over. If Tang Bao came back at this time, wouldn't he coincidentally bump into Gu Linshan? Forget it. The young master and Tang Bao were already married. It would be best if Tang Bao didn't have anything to do with Gu Linshan. Therefore, Wan Malay wanted to sneak out to inform Tang Bao. However, just as she moved her feet, "Where are you going?" Gu Linshan's gaze was always elsewhere as he asked. "I'll get you a glass of water." "You'd better stay here," Gu Linshan said coldly. Wan Malay stood there and didn't dare to move. Tang Bao pushed open the office door. He was still sipping milk with a straw in his mouth when he saw the person sitting on the sofa in the office. Cough, cough. Tang Bao choked on the milk and looked at the gloomy Gu Linshan with a red face. He was stunned and didn't say anything. "You're back?" Gu Linshan asked coldly. Tang Bao turned around and was about to run. "If you dare to run, I'll make her my target." Tang Bao's hand that was pulling the door open froze. She understood what he meant. If she wanted to run, Gu Linshan would make Wan Malay his target. She turned around and glared at Gu Linshan angrily. Why was he acting the same as Di Haotian? When he forced her to marry him, Di Haotian had ordered his men to hold a gun to Wan Malay's head. "Do you think I'll let you run?" Gu Linshan sneered. Tang Bao turned around and looked at Gu Linshan. He pressed his back against the door and asked nervously, "What are you trying to do? Why do you think I'm here?" Gu Linshan's dark eyes became sinister. Tang Bao obviously knew why he was here. He said confidently, "You can't blame Di Haotian and me. You wanted to drink that wine. We didn't force you. Moreover, you still owe Di Haotian 100 million yuan. Then I really have to thank you for your reminder." Gu Linshan sounded like he was thanking her, but there was a sinister tone in his voice. "Thank you don't have to. We're not stingy people. Unlike some people," Tang Bao muttered. "I'm a stingy person. Since you set this trap for me, you must know that I'm a clean freak." Gu Linshan stood up and approached Tang Bao sinisterly. His unbearable words made Tang Bao's face turn red with anger. "Gu Linshan, I'm Di Haotian's wife. If you weren't his wife, would I have come looking for you?" Wan Malay saw this and was puzzled. What was going on between these two people? Why couldn't she understand what they were saying? "Wait, young Master Gu," Wan Malay immediately said. Gu Linshan turned his face sinisterly and looked at Wan Malay. "You want to stop me? This is the company. No matter what you do to Tang Bao, young Master Di will definitely know. When the time comes, he won't let it go," Wan Malay said. "Then I'd like to see how he's going to let it go," Gu Linshan said, and suddenly raised his hand. Chapter 306. Oh, Tang Bao was completely caught off guard. Because Gu Linshan was talking to Wan Malay, his attention was on Wan Malay. Then, the fragrance on the handkerchief was naturally inhaled into her lungs. She was so scared that her eyes widened. Gu Linshan retracted his hand and threw the handkerchief into the trash can next to him. Tang Bao was a little confused. Why didn't she faint? Why didn't she feel dizzy? "Tang Bao, are you okay?" Wan Malay didn't know what Gu Linshan was doing and asked hurriedly. I think I'm fine." Tang Bao laughed out loud. "Ha ha, Gu Linshan, your drug didn't work. It's expired, right?" "Is that so?" Gu Linshan smiled coldly. "I didn't drug you." The smile on Tang Bao's face froze. "Then what was it?" "You'll know in a while." Tang Bao was terrified. Was this drug still unknown? Wasn't this too scary? Gu Linshan saw that she was in a daze, so he directly grabbed her arm, opened the door, and pulled her out. Gu Linshan, what are you doing?" "Wan Malay," called Di Haotian and asked him to save me. Tang Bao shouted as she was dragged. Wan Malay was stunned. How? How would she know the young master's contact information? No, she could look for Zhou Jisen, so she quickly ran to Zhou Jisen's office. Gu Linshan pulled Tang Bao all the way. Tang Bao struggled to no avail. Wasn't he too strong? How could a weak woman like her fight against a grown man like Gu Linshan? Tang Bao saw the people in the company staring at this scene with their mouths agape and immediately asked for help. Help me. This person is a bandit. He wants to kidnap me. Only then did the employees realize that the person being pulled was their big boss. They hurriedly stepped forward to stop her. However, before he could take 2 steps, he was stopped by Gu Linshan's men. Tang Bao looked at the employees in despair. Why couldn't anyone kill Gu Linshan? Tang Bao was dragged into the car and forcefully shoved inside. Tang Bao staggered and fell on the chair. Gu Linshan got into the car and drove off. Tang Bao, who was about to stand up, fell back into his seat. Gu Linshan, where are you taking me? This is kidnapping. I'm going to call the police. I'll let you eat prison food. Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. You've been with Di Hao Yin for so long. How could you be so naive? Tang Bao was speechless. That's right. Di Hao Yin could do whatever he wanted. How bad could Gu Linshan be? Even if she dared to call the police, would anyone dare to arrest him? Young Master Gu, there's a car chasing after us, the man in the front passenger seat said. I don't need to look. I know who it is. Gu Linshan looked at Tang Bao with a cold smile. Tang Bao turned back to look. She was very familiar with the black military vehicle. It was Di Hao Yin. Tang Bao immediately became bold and warned Gu Linshan, Di Hao Yin is here. Why aren't you letting me go? Otherwise, he'll teach you a lesson. The sudden heat in her body made Tang Bao instantly alert. Her whole body was heating up. Tang Bao's face gradually turned red. Why did she feel this way before? Tang Bao looked at Gu Linshan, who had an unfathomable expression, and said in disbelief, You drugged me? This is to return to Di Hao Yin. If you want to return it, then you should have drugged him. Tang Bao was furious. It's easier to drug you, Gu Linshan said calmly. Tang Bao's body began to feel uncomfortable. She was even more afraid. She was afraid that the same thing would happen again. Previously, it was Di Junbai. Now it was Gu Linshan. What did God not like about her? Why did he treat her so cruelly? Tang Bao frowned in pain. If you can't take it anymore, I won't kick you out of the car. Gu Linshan poured himself a glass of wine in the car and drank leisurely. Aren't you obsessed with cleanliness? Are you not obsessed with cleanliness when you touch me? I'm not a virgin now. Tang Bao wanted to slap Gu Linshan to death. But now, she was losing strength in her body. She couldn't even sit upright in her seat. Di Hao Yin, hurry up and come. Tang Bao looked back and saw that Di Hao Yin's car was still behind them. She panicked. You don't have to keep your chastity for Di Hao Yin. Even if something happens between us, I don't think Di Hao Yin will blame you. Just like you and Di Junbai. Tang Bao's body trembled. You know about this? Are you really with Di Junbai? Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. Yes. Tang Bao panted. Gu Linshan's black eyes flashed with disgust and coldness. Di Hao Yin still wants you. Yes, because he can't do without me. Can you quickly get me out of the car? In case something goes wrong. Tang Bao's face became redder and redder, and she became more and more afraid. She was almost speaking through gritted teeth. If that's the case, I won't let you go. Gu Linshan had made up his mind to deal with Di Hao Yin. Tang Bao was his weakness. At this moment, the sound of helicopters buzzing could be heard from above. Young Master Gu, there are so many helicopters in the sky. His subordinate checked the situation outside and said in surprise. Gu Linshan was stunned and looked out of the car window. The helicopters in the sky were hovering above his car. Then, ropes were lowered and men in full black armor slid down one by one. They raised their guns and surrounded Gu Linshan's car. Gu Linshan drank all the wine in his glass. He almost crushed the glass in his hand. His expression was terrible. The car door was pulled open. Di Hao Yin's sharp gaze fell on Tang Bao, who was slumped in the seat. It was obvious that she had been drugged. Then, he glared at Gu Linshan. Gu Linshan said unhurriedly, I've really miscalculated. It's not that you miscalculated. It's just that I have the final say in D City. Di Hao Yin pulled Tang Bao over and picked her up. Then, he turned around and went back to his car. Tang Bao was in a daze. Her eyes were unfocused. Bao. Di Hao Yian's black eyes were sharp and deep. Because of the lesson from the previous incident, it had taken root in her heart. Therefore, she avoided him in fear. Di Hao Yan held her body tightly and clamped her shoulders. Bao, look clearly at who I am. Tang Bao tried to focus her unfocused eyes. The blurry figure in front of her had a familiar outline. Di Hao Yan. Chapter 307. After Di Hao Yan finished speaking, he hugged her and pressed her forehead against his. Tang Bao felt the cool touch on her forehead. It was very comfortable and made her feel cool. However, her remaining rationality made her break down and resist, shaking her head. What's wrong? Di Hao Yan asked. You? Are you really Di Hao Yan? I'm afraid that you're not. I almost did something wrong to Di Hao Yan. Even if I'm really drugged again, I don't want to be touched by anyone other than Di Hao Yan. Please tell me, don't lie to me. If you're not Di Hao Yan, don't touch me. Tang Bao said. Tears dripped down her face one by one. Her words were also intermittent. It was obvious that she was using all her rationality to resist the raging effects of the drug in her body. After speaking, she immediately bit her hand tightly with her teeth. Di Hao Yan knew that she was feeling very uncomfortable now. But this time she said such words. These words softened Di Hao Yan's tough heart. Do you still remember the 3 obedience and 4 virtues? Di Hao Yan asked in a hoarse and low voice. Tang Bao was stunned. The 3 obedience and 4 virtues. Di Hao Yan's requirements for her. At this moment, she could not completely understand the contents in her mind, but she knew that this was Di Hao Yan's tyrannical plan for her. These were all deeply ingrained in her mind, and no one else knew. Di Hao Yan, it's really you. That's great. Tang Bao was very happy after saying that. Di Hao Yan reached out and slammed his hand on the car door. He Ju, who was in the front, received the signal and asked the driver to drive the car to a dark place. There was a fork in the road. The car drove straight in. The driver, He Ju, and the other bodyguards disappeared without a trace in an instant. Di Hao Yan directly carried Tang Bao and put her on the seat. The air was cold, but the inside of the car was like a fire cage. When Tang Bao woke up, he was already on the big bed in the room in the castle. She was about to collapse. It was as if he didn't know when today had happened. When she regained consciousness, she felt the person behind her hugging her tightly. He didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Tang Bao moved a little, and his body immediately felt sore, as if it had been crushed. Tang Bao waved his hand. She could only swing her hands nimbly now. That's her attitude? It wasn't like this last night. Di Hao Yan's eyes were dark. That's pardonable. That's normal. Di Hao Yan's black eyes were filled with evil. Tang Bao could not win the argument and flew into a rage out of humiliation. Di Hao Yan massaged Tang Bao with both hands before letting go of Tang Bao. It's already afternoon. I'll get you something to eat. After Di Hao Yan finished speaking, he lifted the quilt and got out of bed. Tang Bao pursed her lips, curled up in the quilt, and looked at Di Hao Yan, who was standing by the bed. Every time this happened, Tang Bao could not sleep well and could not go to the company the next day. Di Hao Yan, on the other hand, felt refreshed. How could this be? When Tang Bao pouted, she realized that Di Hao Yan was about to turn around, so she quickly covered her head with the quilt. Di Hao Yan stared at Tang Bao's cute reaction and just smiled wickedly. He did not disturb her. She had not eaten anything since last night. Tang Bao must be hungry. After getting dressed, he turned around to get her something to eat. When Tang Bao returned to the company, it was already the next day. She was refreshed, but the soreness in her body had not healed. She thought that since there was a lounge in the office, she could just rest there. After Tang Bao entered the office, she glanced at Wan Malay's desk. She did not say anything and tactfully sat down on the sofa. Gu Linshin didn't do anything to you? The sudden voice stunned Tang Bao. She looked up and saw Wan Malay looking at her. Are you talking to me? Tang Bao asked in confusion. Is there anyone else in the office other than you? Malay, does this mean that we have made up? Tang Bao asked with a smile. Let me tell you, I've been holding it in for a long time. You haven't told me yet. Did Gu Linshin do anything to you? He took you away. And then what? Then Di Hao Yin appeared. He saved me easily. Tang Bao was so proud that she could not hide it on her face. For the young master, it was really easy for a helicopter to save you. You knew. It was such a big scene. Who didn't know? Malay, thank you so much for helping me inform Di Hao Yin. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. She was drugged again. If Di Hao Yin did not appear in time, who knew what terrible things would have happened? I want to look for Zhou Jisen. Zhou Jisen didn't pick up his phone. I think the young master must have already known when you were kidnapped by Gu Linshin. Wang Malay looked at Tang Bao suspiciously. Wasn't Gu Linshin interested in you? What did you do to make him so angry? What did you do this time? Tang Bao scratched her forehead and felt a little guilty. It's nothing. He just bullied me. And then Di Hao Yin drugged Gu Linshin. Gu Linshin was so angry that he came to kidnap me. Wang Malay was shocked. Being drugged by the young master shouldn't end well, right? Malay, don't tell me you still like Gu Linshin? Tang Bao asked. He and I are from two different worlds. I've thought it through these few days. I can't force things that don't belong to me. Wang Malay shrugged and said helplessly. Tang Bao was so happy that she went forward and hugged Wang Malay. It's great that you can think it through. But if there's anything in the future, you can't hide it from me. Tell me the truth. Wang Malay looked at her threateningly. You still hope for the future? Tang Bao asked in horror. Chapter 308. Tang Bao sat on the sofa and thought of Gu Linshin with a face full of displeasure. I've never seen such a person. The next time I see him, I'll take a detour. He really doesn't like you? Wang Malay asked in disbelief. Not all. Maybe he's just not right in the head. You have to know that ordinary people don't understand the thoughts of people like him. Only Di Hao Yin can deal with him. Tang Bao thought that if Gu Linshin was so angry after being drugged, Luo Luoli's fate would be even worse. So she found a time to call her. Luo Luoli's voice came from the other end. Tang Bao, you're still alive? Tang Bao asked. I'm alive and well. Gu Linshin didn't do anything to you, right? Tang Bao thought that if Gu Linshin didn't destroy Luo Luoli's body, he would definitely skin her alive. No, not at all. Tang Bao expressed her disbelief. Even she was implicated in this matter. Actually, there's something I didn't tell you. What? Gu Linshin is my uncle. What? Tang Bao was startled. Her footsteps almost caused her to fall. You and your uncle? We're not related by blood. It doesn't matter. But I still have to thank you for this, Luo Luoli said casually. After Tang Bao hung up the phone, she was a little confused. After all this time, Luo Luoli was plotting against her uncle who was not related by blood? Why? Was it a success? It should have, right? Otherwise, why would Gu Linshin be so angry? She wondered what Gu Linshin's expression would be. Tang Bao was depressed. Was there a need to think about it? He just kidnapped her and drugged her. Tang Bao felt that the world was far scarier than she had imagined. Therefore, it was better for her not to think about it. The atmosphere in Yu Songhuan's villa was not very good. Yu Songhuan sat on the sofa with a teacup in his hand. He was in a daze, and his face was pale. Old madam, the tea is cold. Shall I get you another cup? Auntie Wang, who was standing at the side, said. Yu Songhuan returned to his senses and placed the teacup on the coffee table in front of him. He said worriedly, How can I be in the mood to drink tea? I can't even drink tea now. Old madam, you just need to be comfortable now. Don't worry about anything else. Is my own son someone else? Yu Songhuan's expression turned ugly. Annie Wang was silent, not knowing what to say. First, it was Di Junbai, and now it's Hao Yin's friend. How can there be such an indecent girl? Yu Songhuan couldn't believe it. Those who enter the Di family are all young ladies from noble families like old madam. However, girls nowadays are more lively, so it's inevitable that there will be some differences. Annie Wang didn't want to be presumptuous, so she could only comfort him. Hao Yin's wife should be like Wanru, sensible, filial, gentle, and considerate. If I knew that Hao Yin would marry such a girl, I would never agree. Yu Songhuan became more and more worried. But young Master D likes young Madam, so young Madam should have her good points. Good points? I think only bad points. I can tolerate other things, but what happened with D Junbai? How can I tolerate it? No, I can't persuade Hao Ian to divorce her, but I definitely won't let her give birth to the D family's child. Yu Songhuan's eyes were filled with calculation. Old madam, what do you mean? She shouldn't be pregnant so soon. You go and settle this matter. It'll be too late if it's too late. I understand. Di Hao Ian's black car was downstairs. After Tang Bao got into the car, his body slumped against the seat. Then he yawned. After Di Hao Ian got into the car, just as he was about to touch her, Tang Bao immediately shrank back nervously by the car door. He looked at Di Hao Ian warily. Di Hao Ian looked at her with a gloomy face. He asked in a dangerous tone, "We haven't met for a few hours. Are you rejecting me?" "No. I think it's better to keep some distance. Isn't there a saying? Distance makes the heart grow fonder." Tang Bao laughed dryly. The laziness just now was gone. Di Hao Ian's unique voice was as deep as a magnet when he opened his mouth. At this moment, there was even a hint of evil in it. However, she didn't want to show that she understood, so she played dumb. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Then I'll cook dinner for you tonight." "I don't want to." Tang Bao was so shocked that he almost jumped up. Di Hao Ian's eyes darkened, and he directly pulled Tang Bao in front of him. Di Hao Ian's expression didn't change, and he was firm and unyielding. Di Hao Ian looked down with his dark eyes. "Don't want what?" Tang Bao looked up with a red face, pouted, and said pitifully, "What do you want?" "I feel that it's too tiring to be married to you. You don't even give me a weekend off. Do you think the 3 obedience and 4 virtues pasted on the bedside are for nothing?" Di Hao Ian asked. "Can we negotiate?" Tang Bao's little hand tugged at Di Hao Ian's suit jacket and asked. "No." There was no room for negotiation. "Then you mean you'll continue at night?" "It depends." Tang Bao's head drooped down as she broke down. He usually didn't keep his word when he said he wouldn't touch her. Did she expect him to let her go just because it depends? Di Hao Ian looked at her breaking down and picked her up. His dark eyes were deep. "Not satisfied? I don't trust your words at all." Tang Bao looked at him gloomily. "Didn't you see that I was so weak when I came down from the company? I don't know where you get so much strength. It seems like you can't use it up no matter what." "Bao, are you praising me?" Di Hao Ian's dark eyes were deep, and he was in a good mood. "I'm not praising your number." Di Hao Ian's handsome, chiseled face leaned forward. Tang Bao suppressed his wildly beating heart and went all out as he spoke. "Does it hurt?" Chapter 309. Di Hao Ian looked at her deeply with his dark eyes. His voice was low and hoarse. "What method? A beast's way of healing." Tang Bao was dissatisfied, then changed to a gentle one. But no matter how hard she struggled, Di Hao Ian did not let go. Tang Bao's watery eyes were unfocused as she looked at the scenery outside the car window that kept retreating. Her brain was also in a mess. It was terrifying to her. In the past, when night fell, there would be a unique, quiet beauty. But for the current Tang Bao, there was only fear. She had to deal with Di Hao Ian's fear, because when night fell, Di Hao Ian would be extremely terrifying. The room would be filled with gas. As long as there was a spark, it would instantly ignite and explode. In the end, there would be no intact skin. Therefore, Tang Bao must absolutely avoid all flames. After dinner, Tang Bao pushed the bowl on the table, glanced at Di Hao Ian, and said, "I want to go out for a walk. Don't come over. I'll be back after a walk to digest." After saying that, she ran out. Di Hao Ian leaned lazily against the back of the chair. He took out a cigarette, put it in his mouth, and lit it. He held the cigarette between his slender and strong fingers in a manly manner. There was an unfathomable look in his eyes. After Tang Bao ran out, she took out her phone and called Zhou Jison's cell phone. Zhou Jison's voice soon came from the other side. "Mr. Tang, it's time for you to repay me." Tang Bao went straight to the point. "Why? Are you going to go back on your word? Don't you need to thank me for letting you Lian return to the entertainment industry?" Tang Bao brought up old scores. "Yes, Mr. Tang. Please go ahead." At 7 o'clock, call Di Hao Ian and tell him that there's a company matter to report. Then, lead him to the study. It's best if you can have a video call or something. Tang Bao thought for a while and said, "What's the matter that requires a video call? A video conference? Do you still need me to teach you?" Zhou Jisen wanted to say that the video conference had already been held in T. "I don't care how you do it, but you have to lure Di Haotian to the study. That's a little difficult." This was the young emperor, not an ordinary person. "You're ungrateful, aren't you?" Tang Bao looked angry. "Got it. I'll do my best." "Not try your best, but you must." Tang Bao hung up the phone with a calculating smile on his face. If he led Di Haotian to the study and stayed there for half an hour, he would not be able to do anything. That way, she would have enough time to wash up and avoid Di Haotian. Tang Bao was very proud of his scheme. When it was almost 7 o'clock in the evening, Tang Bao was playing with his phone while keeping an eye on Di Haotian's phone. At 7 o'clock sharp, Di Haotian's phone vibrated. Tang Bao immediately pushed Di Haotian, who was watching TV next to him, and said, "Di Haotian, your phone is ringing." "Yes." Di Haotian continued to watch TV and did not move. This made Tang Bao anxious. He asked in confusion, "Aren't you going to answer the phone?" "There's no hurry." Di Haotian's expression did not change. His eyes were focused on the TV. "How can there be no hurry? What if T is looking for you for something important?" Tang Bao said. Di Haotian's chiseled face turned and stared at Tang Bao with his deep black eyes. "You seem to be in a hurry. I'm doing this for your own good. Can't you see?" Tang Bao blinked his watery eyes and asked innocently. Di Haotian did not say anything. His dark eyes glanced at her deeply. Tang Bao was on guard, afraid that she would be exposed. Di Haotian picked up his phone and answered the call. Tang Bao curled up on the sofa. She seemed to be indifferent, but in fact she was paying attention to Di Haotian, who was on the phone. Di Haotian stood up and walked out of the room while answering the call. After the door closed, Tang Bao put down her phone. "Of course I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry to wash up. I won't give you any chance to be with me. Devil." She picked up her pajamas and went into the bathroom. She stood under the shower. Tang Bao did not dare to waste a second. Anyway, she had calculated the time. Di Haotian answered the call and went to the study. Half an hour should be enough for him to do a video call. Tang Bao felt a great sense of accomplishment because of her plan. However, when she was halfway through her shower, the bathroom door suddenly opened. Tang Bao turned around in shock. When she saw the tall figure coming in, she was stunned. He approached Tang Bao. He said in a calm tone, "What are you doing?" Tang Bao instinctively took 2 steps back in fear. Weren't you on the phone? It's over." So fast. Tang Bao's brain was spinning slowly. Didn't he say half an hour? Is there a problem? She quickly turned her face away. Tang Bao leaned back slightly. She did not want to get too close. But what was the use of keeping her upper body away? "I'm done. Hurry up. It's not clean," Di Haotian said domineeringly. "How do you know?" Tang Bao retorted. "Check it and you'll know." Tang Bao was stunned for a few seconds. After she understood what he meant, she came back to her senses and immediately pushed him with her small hand. Nothing changed. Chapter 310. "I can't let go," Di Haotian said in a low voice. "My mind is full of you now." Tang Bao trembled both physically and mentally. Her throbbing emotions spread out like ripples. Although she knew what Di Haotian meant, she was still a little stunned. Di Haotian, good girl." Tang Bao was speechless. Di Haotian didn't give her a chance to speak. Tang Bao knew very well. The higher Di Haotian pushed her into the sky, the more tired she felt when she returned to the ground. Tang Bao slept until morning. Tang Bao felt a little breathless. Then she turned over and went back to sleep. It was already afternoon when she really woke up. Tang Bao turned over and immediately cursed. "Ah, Di Haotian, I hate you so much, you bastard big devil." After a while, Tang Bao could finally turn over in bed. She was full of criticism. What kind of monster was Di Haotian? It was too scary. Tang Bao walked out of the room. When she went downstairs, she had to pretend that nothing had happened. She didn't have the face to do that in front of the servants. They could tell what had happened, right? Di Hao Ian must be in tea. She didn't want to see Di Hao Ian for a day now. He was in charge of such a big tea. Why wasn't he so busy that she couldn't see him? He was amazing. Tang Bao walked into the kitchen and saw a maid with her back to her. When she turned around and saw Tang Bao, she was stunned and immediately went forward to ask, "Young madam, you're awake? Are you hungry? The bird's nest soup is ready. It's waiting for you to wake up." "Zhongli isn't here? The deputy manager is busy with other things," the maid said. "Then help me serve it for the night." "Okay." Tang Bao turned around and went to the hall. She curled up on the sofa, hugging a pillow and lazily watching a horror movie. She opened her mouth and yawned. His eyes were hazy with tears. "Young madam, are you awake? The bird's nest soup is ready." Zhongli walked into the hall after finishing his work and said to Tang Bao when he saw him. Before the Tang Bao could say anything, the maid had already brought the bird's nest soup over. After Tang Bao took over, he said, "Zhongli, come and watch a horror movie with me." "Young madam, I remember that I haven't finished my work yet. I'll continue." After Zhongli finished speaking, he immediately left. Tang Bao was stunned. Why'd he run so fast? What's so urgent? The Tang Bao stirred the bird's nest soup with a spoon and took a sip. It was still delicious as always. Then he drank it all the night. "Young madam, do you want more? I want to eat assorted noodles." "Yes, I'll ask the kitchen to do it." The maid then left with the empty bowl. Anyway, as long as Di Hao Ian was not around, she could maintain her calm mood. Just as the Tang Bao was kneeling by the coffee table, eating noodles, and watching a horror movie, Di Hao Ian came back. The Tang Bao looked straight ahead and pretended not to see him. His tall figure walked towards the Tang Bao and sat down on the sofa. He stared at the cute Tang Bao and said in a low voice, "Just woke up?" "Yes." The Tang Bao ignored him. Of course, Di Hao Ian could see the Tang Bao's displeasure. He knew why she was angry. His dark eyes flashed. He pulled the Tang Bao's people up and sat them on the sofa. "What are you doing?" The Tang Bao's beautiful brows furrowed. He was very dissatisfied with Di Hao Ian's domineering behavior. Di Hao Ian took the noodles, waved his chopsticks a few times, and said, "I'll feed them. I can eat by myself." "It's not like I don't have hands," the Tang Bao said unhappily. "You have to lower your head when you eat by yourself. You don't need me to feed you. You could just watch TV," Di Hao Ian said. The Tang Bao thought about it and felt that it was true. When she ate by herself, she lowered her head for a while and raised her head for a while. She missed some subtle scenes. Previously, there was a scene where she did not pay attention to what she said while eating noodles. She had to repeat it again. "I allow you to feed me, but it doesn't mean that I forgive your behavior last night," the Tang Bao said proudly. "Of course," after Di Hao Ian responded, the Tang Bao opened her mouth and ate the noodles that were handed to her. This time, she did not even need to do anything. Her two black grape-like eyes were staring at the TV. When the noodles touched her mouth, she just needed to open her small mouth. Soon, the noodles were all eaten. The bowl was taken away. After eating the noodles, the Tang Bao immediately moved away from Di Hao Ian. She felt that Di Hao Ian was much scarier than horror movies. "Come here." Di Hao Ian frowned. "I won't." The expression on Di Hao Ian's face immediately turned cold. The Tang Bao was speechless. She only felt that the atmosphere in the hall had become oppressive and cold. It made the Tang Bao feel as if she was floating in the cold wind. The Tang Bao bit her lip and weighed her options. In the end, she could not resist Di Hao Ian's oppressive aura and sat back down. Di Hao Ian hugged her waist and let her lean into his arms. His voice was low and hoarse. Yes, the Tang Bao did not have to hide it at all. Not now. The Tang Bao's little heart throbbed. However, the more it was like this, the more terrified she was. Di Hao Ian's pair of sharp black eyes looked through the wet ends of his hair and looked at the Tang Bao who was standing in the corner. "Bao, don't stand there like a girl who made a mistake. Come here." Di Hao Ian's black eyes were extremely beautiful. In the eyes of the Tang Bao, he was the ultimate demon. "I won't." The Tang Bao shrank in the corner like an innocent lamb. "What's the use of you standing there?" Di Hao Ian asked calmly. I. The Tang Bao looked left and right. She really could not escape. Then, in despair, she climbed up the window. Di Hao Ian. The windowsill was not high. The Tang Bao climbed up easily. She held onto the wall with both hands and said angrily to Di Hao Ian, "If you don't keep your promise tonight, I'll jump down. Anyway, I'll die by your hands sooner or later. It's really unwise to marry you." Tang Bao knew that there was a transparent ointment. She did not know what it was. She thought that it was to prevent injuries. How could it be like this? Chapter 3:11. Throw that ointment away. I don't want to apply it anymore. Tang Bao was about to cry. "No, if you don't throw it away, I won't go down. I'll jump off the building in front of you." Tang Bao clung to the wall tightly with her two small hands, as if she would die if he did not agree. "Okay, I'll throw it away. Come down quickly. Aren't you cold?" Tang Bao paused on the windowsill. It was indeed a little cold. The room was warm, but there was a breeze outside. Di Hao Ian's heart softened, but his face was colder than the sky. "I'm cold, but I have another request." Tang Bao had just finished speaking when she saw Di Hao Ian approaching her. She was so scared that she immediately shouted, "You're not allowed to come over. If you come over, I'll jump down." Di Hao Ian stopped walking. His sharp black eyes looked coldly at Tang Bao's willfulness. "What other request do you have? Tell me everything. It's easy for me to go down, but you have to promise me 2 days of rest every week." "No." Di Hao Ian's face was cold. There was no room for negotiation. "Why not? You're too domineering." Tang Bao cried and complained miserably. "No matter what, no. Give me 2 days of rest every week. It's just 2 days. Why can't you make an exception?" Sob, sob, sob. Di Hao Ian's black eyes were fixed on his prey, who had nowhere to run. This little one was really desperate. She even climbed out of the window and jumped off the building. Was he being too much? Di Hao Ian thought that he actually did not have this kind of awareness. Di Hao Ian's eyes darkened, and he compromised. "I can let you have 2 days off." "Really?" Tang Bao was delighted. Jumping off a building was still effective? No matter what she said before, it was useless. "I'll have 2 days off every week. As for the other 5 days, I'll make up for it on the rest days," Di Hao Ian said fiercely. The words that came out of his thin lips were merciless. Tang Bao was dumbfounded. Before she could recover from this blow, Di Hao Ian said again, "I have the final say on the time and place." Tang Bao bit his lip and looked at the terrifying Di Hao Ian in horror. Was it worth it to agree to the weekend that she had always wanted? She got 2 days off, but she was also forced to give up a lot of other things. However, even if there were no rest days, the number of Di Hao Ian days was still quite a lot. What to do? What if he agreed? Or not? Had he thought it through? Can it be less? Tang Bao tried to bargain. Seeing Di Hao Ian's expression change, she immediately said, "People have to be picky and haggle when buying cabbages. Why can't I make a request?" "Bao, you better agree." Di Hao Ian looked at her calmly. "Why must I agree?" Tang Bao could also refuse. She felt that she had the upper hand now, and Di Hao Ian had to agree. "Bao, look to your right." Di Hao Ian said. "Why are you looking to the right? Are you trying to take the opportunity to pull me down?" Tang Bao was not that stupid. The balcony is on the right. Even if you jump down, it won't be a problem. Di Hao Ian kindly reminded her with a devilish glint in his eyes. "What?" Tang Bao was stunned. She suddenly thought of the layout outside the windowsill. Wasn't it just a huge balcony? And it wasn't very far from the windowsill. Tang Bao turned her face to the right, and her face instantly broke down. The windowsill was not even a meter away from the balcony floor. She wouldn't even have a chance to sprain her ankle if she jumped down. Oh my God! She was still squatting on the balcony, threatening to jump. How stupid was she? Just as Tang Bao was so angry that she wanted to bang her head against the wall, her body suddenly became light. She was so frightened that she instinctively grabbed Di Hao Ian's broad shoulders with both hands. Her vision blurred, and she was on the bed. Then Di Hao Ian waved his long arm. Tang Bao did not have time to react. By the time she realized what was going on, there was already a deep shadow above her. Di Haotian clamped Tang Bao's shoulder with one hand and said in a strong and cold tone, "Let me try if you catch a cold. Are you blaming me? You forced me to do this." Tang Bao said unhappily. Then she thought of something. "Di Haotian, you still keep your word, right? Give me 2 days off and the other 5 days?" Di Haotian sneered. "Didn't you say that I have the right to be picky? Don't you want to bargain with me?" "I thought about it and felt that your conditions were quite humane, so I agreed." Tang Bao criticized in her heart. What was humane? It was the behavior of a beast. "You don't feel wronged?" "Not at all." Tang Bao's heart was bleeding. "I take back what I said before," Di Haotian said. "What did you say?" "I'm going back on my word." Di Haotian lay on the side. Tang Bao was anxious. He turned over and looked at Di Haotian. "How can you go back on your word?" "Why not? You're not at a disadvantage, so why should you go back on your word? No matter how you look at it, you're the one who benefits." Tang Bao did not understand why he would go back on his word. "You don't know how to look at it?" Di Haotian's black eyes shone with a deep luster. Tang Bao did not know how to refute for a moment. It was not easy for her to squeeze out something that could persuade Di Haotian. "Can't you choose any place?" "No." Tang Bao had a bad temper. She stood up quickly. "Di Haotian, don't go too far. Do you really want to force me to jump off a building? It was my mistake this time. Next time, I'll jump from the top of the company for you to see. Then I'll tear down your company." Di Haotian glanced at her domineeringly and sharply. Tang Bao's eyes widened. She could not believe that he actually had such a fierce idea. She believed that if Di Haotian wanted to do it, he really had the ability to do it, and no one could stop him. She really wanted to give him a kick. Domineering, strong, perverted, and a devil. These were Di Haotian's most conspicuous labels. "Bao, it's wisest to be obedient." Di Haotian's slender fingers twitched. Tang Bao felt an itch. She jumped up and lost her balance. She fell to the ground and sat down. She was so frightened that she wanted to get up. Chapter 312. Don't move. Di Haotian's dark eyes were frighteningly deep. He was clearly in a disadvantageous position, but Tang Bao looked as dangerous and frightening as a giant black eagle swooping down. "Di Haotian, I want a written agreement on the weekend. It's written in black and white, just like the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. You won't go back on your word." Tang Bao had not finished speaking. In the morning, Di Haotian opened his dark eyes with an innate sharpness. When his gaze fell on Tang Bao, who was sleeping soundly in his arms, the sharpness decreased sharply and became doting. Tang Bao looked slightly pouted. Even when she was sleeping, she was cute. Di Haotian's thin lips kissed her small mouth and said in a low voice, "I won't disturb you. Have a good sleep." Then he got up. As soon as he sat up, he felt himself being pulled. He lifted the quilt slightly. Under the quilt, Tang Bao's small hand grabbed his slender index finger, looking helpless and pitiful. Tang Bao closed her eyes and said, "A written agreement. I want a written agreement." Di Haotian's lips curled into a wicked smile. He pulled Tang Bao's small hand away and tucked her in. Tang Bao slept like a log. When she opened her eyes, her mind was blank for a short period of time. It took nearly a minute for her to wake up completely. Tang Bao moved. She was really tired. She did not even want to go to the company now, not to mention going downstairs to eat. Di Haotian, that beast. He was completely a beast that ate people without spitting out the bones. Tang Bao felt that if she married Di Haotian, her life would definitely be short. It was too scary. He was a big pervert. She was not even sure she would fall because of lack of physical strength. Tang Bao curled up under the quilt and lamented her fate. She was glad that she did not need to manage the company. Otherwise, she would have lost a mountain of gold and silver. Then she would have let her father down. "He's awake?" Tang Bao's body trembled. He raised his head abruptly and saw Di Haotian sitting on the edge of the bed with food in his hands. "Di Haotian, you didn't go to tea? How can tea be more important than you?" Di Haotian's black eyes were locked on her little face. Tang Bao's little face suddenly heated up. He lowered his head and muttered, "Is it really that important?" The next second, Tang Bao sat up angrily. However, due to the excessive force, she twisted her arm. Ouch, my arm! Tang Bao supported himself with his arm. His expression was contorted in pain. Di Haoyan reached out and let her sit on one of his arms. Tang Bao was a little stunned. She was sitting on Di Haoyan's muscular arm. Di Haoyan was still so calm, as if he could easily carry her with one hand. I'll feed you. I don't want to eat. Tang Bao was not in a good mood. Why not? Can't you see that I'm in a bad mood? Tang Bao pouted. Di Haoyan's black eyes stared at her. I can see that. You have to eat even if you're in a bad mood. Tang Bao cursed endlessly in her heart. He was so domineering that he had no bottom line. Di Haoyan did not say anything. He turned and took a piece of paper from the bedside table and handed it to Tang Bao. What's this? Tang Bao took it in puzzlement. When he saw what was written on it, he immediately felt better. You really want to make a written agreement with me? I was just saying. I didn't expect you to take it seriously. Tang Bao concealed the pride of successfully gaining the upper hand and said, Give it to me. Di Haoyan raised his hand. Tang Bao immediately refused. No, you have to keep your word. And this agreement has to be pasted on the bedside table. It's next to the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. Up to you. Only then did Tang Bao put a smile on his face. Holding the black and white agreement in his hand, he was happier than if he had made money. In particular, Di Haoyan's bold and powerful words at the bottom made her feel very relieved. Di Haoyan, do you know when your day off is? Tang Bao deliberately asked. Tomorrow. Then you won't go back on your word, right? If you ask again, I'll tear it apart. Di Haoyan's eyes were dangerous. After receiving Di Haoyan's written agreement, Tang Bao pasted it on the bedside table like a protective talisman. Now, there were 2 pieces of paper pasted on the bedside table. During the weekend, Di Haoyan really kept his word and did not touch her. Therefore, Tang Bao lived a relaxed and happy life. Even if she just sat on the sofa and watched horror movies for the whole day, she was very happy. Ever since Di Haoyan did that to her, she had not had a good rest until now. Just thinking about it made her feel very miserable. Then, she looked at Di Haoyan's expression. During the weekend, his face was expressionless as he watched Tang Bao jump up and down coldly. The entire castle was filled with low pressure. When Tang Bao ran to find food, Zhongli asked in a low voice, Young madam, did you provoke young Master Di? No. How could I provoke him? He's the one who bullied me. But it's so cold in the castle. Zhongli said. Cold? Then turn on the heater. Tang Bao said and left. When she went to the company on Monday, Tang Bao was simply a young and energetic, beautiful girl. When she walked into the office, Wan Malay asked, Did you find the money? Tang Bao was waiting to be asked. Therefore, when Wan Malay said that, she immediately said happily, Let me tell you, I defeated Di Haoyan. What do you mean? Wan Malay asked. It's a matter of principle. Be more specific. I made a family rule against Di Haoyan. He agreed and even wrote a letter. What family rule? Why are you asking so much? Family rules are family rules. What other family rules can they be? You just need to know that I defeated Di Haoyan. Tang Bao said as if she was the boss of the castle. I'm angry. Wan Malay looked at her expressionlessly. You're the one who started it, but you stopped halfway through. Why? You're keeping me in suspense. It's a heinous crime. I'll treat you to lunch. Do you have an appetite? Yes. At noon, the 2 of them ran out to look for food. As they were walking on the street, they heard the sound of a skateboard behind them. Chapter 3:13. After sliding over, the skateboard turned around elegantly and stopped. What a smooth ride. Tang Bao stared at Luo Luoli in a daze. Although it was his second time seeing her, every time Tang Bao saw her, he felt like he was watching a horror movie. This was the first time when Malay saw her. He was stunned by her makeup and smile for a long time. You know her? Wan Malay whispered to Tang Bao. Let me introduce her to you. This is Gu Linshan's niece, Luo Luoli. This is my best friend, Wan Malay. Tang Bao came back to his senses and said. Wan Malay was stunned. Gu Linshan's niece? He turned to look at Luo Luoli and then at Tang Bao. He asked silently, "You even know his niece? How deep are your feelings for him?" "Hello, it's our first time meeting. I'm here to eat with Tang Bao, but Tang Bao's friends are my friends. Let's eat together," Luo Luoli said generously. Wan Malay immediately said, "Tang Bao just said that he wanted to treat me to a meal. Aren't you letting him off easy?" Tang Bao looked at him from the corner of his eyes. He was careless in making friends. "It's okay. Tang Bao will treat me next time." Luo Luoli smiled. Her eyes narrowed into crescents. Thus, the three of them found a restaurant that was quite tasteful and went in. When they were about to walk in, they were immediately stopped by a waiter. "You can't go in." The person who was stopped was Luo Luoli, who was walking behind them. Luo Luoli was puzzled. "Why can't I go in?" "Beggars can't enter here," the waiter said confidently. Luo Luoli puffed. Tang Bao and Wan Malay could not hold back their laughter. Luo Luoli came back to her senses and said angrily, "You're looking down on me. So what if I'm dressed in rags? Everyone who enters is a guest. How can you not let me in? It will damage the image of our shop. Anyway, beggars are not allowed to enter." Luo Luoli was so angry that she couldn't take it anymore. Coupled with her exploding hair, she was truly the embodiment of the word bristling. Tang Bao stopped smiling and walked over to the waiter. "She's with us," he said. I'm sorry. Please come in." The waiter immediately changed his attitude. The three of them sat at the dining table. After ordering, he waited there. There was a kind of awkwardness of staring at each other. After all, it would be strange if a super Luo Luoli appeared in a tasteful restaurant. In the end, Tang Bao couldn't help but lean forward and ask, "Why didn't your uncle buy you a set of clothes? Are you allowed to wander outside like this? Is my outfit not good?" Luo Luoli asked, puzzled. Just as Tang Bao was racking his brain for an answer, the little girl at the next table cried, "Mommy, there's a ghost." She pointed at Luo Luoli. The child's mother quickly coaxed the child and explained that it was not a ghost. Only then did the child calm down. "See?" Tang Bao asked. "You really don't know how to appreciate it." "I like my outfit," Luo Luoli said indifferently. Wan Malay was curious. "How old are you?" 17, almost 18, Luo Luoli said. "Then shouldn't you be studying now?" Wan Malay was surprised. "If I'm studying, I have to go back. I'm not happy." Luo Luoli looked uninterested in studying. Tang Bao said, "You don't have to go back to study. You can study in D-City. There are many good places to study in D-City. You can also go to the university I'm in. The teachers and education there are quite good, and the students are friendly and united." Just as she was talking enthusiastically, she noticed that Wan Malay turned her head and looked straight at her. "Why are you looking at me? Is our school good?" Wan Malay wanted to say, "Are you sure you're talking about the same school as mine? Why is it not good?" Although there are no bad behaviors in the school like accepting money, the teachers are messing around, and the principal is doing everything in the school. Also, there's a girl in every dormitory who's pregnant. How can this be good? Wan Malay asked. "Who's pregnant in our dormitory?" Tang Bao was shocked. "Wang Lan. Whose child is she pregnant with?" "Pregnant." Wan Malay reacted. "Is this the key to the problem? You've gone astray." "Oh, yes, you've gone astray. I don't think it's good either. Just look at me and you'll know who she's married to." Tang Bao muttered fiercely. Wan Malay was speechless. Luo Luoli sat there, her eyes darting left and right. Weren't they talking about her? Why were the two of them talking so enthusiastically as if she had nothing to do with it? However, Luo Luoli started to think. If she studied here, would she not have to go back and stay here for a long time? After Luo Luoli returned to the mansion, she lay on the sofa in the living room and watched the television in boredom. She kept pressing the remote control in her hand and was not in the mood to do anything. When she saw the tall figure walking into the living room, Luo Luoli threw away the remote control and ran towards Gu Linshan. "Little uncle, you're back." When Gu Linshan saw Luo Luoli, his expression changed. "Didn't I give you money to buy clothes? Why are you still dressed like this?" "I used the money to treat someone to a meal." "What kind of meal costs 1,000,000 yuan?" Gu Linshan's expression was extremely ugly. "No, I only ate a few 100 yuan. I saved the rest for later, Luo Loli said very seriously. Who did you treat? Tang Bao. Gu Linshan's cold gaze almost covered the entire living room. I gave you money to treat her to a meal? When Luo Loli saw how scary Gu Linshan was, she took a step back and said innocently, I'm repaying kindness. Repaying someone for drugging me? Are you a traitor? Gu Linshan's expression was gloomy. No, I'm repaying them for allowing me to stay by little uncle's side. Luo Luoli braced herself and said, if she didn't say anything, wouldn't she be a traitor? Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. Luo Luoli stood there obediently, as if she was innocent. Did she want to stay by his side that much? No, no one liked the feeling of being schemed against. He had no patience when it came to teaching children. Give me the card. Gu Linshan suppressed his anger and stretched out his hand. No, you gave it to me. How can you go back on your word and take it back? Luo Luoli hid behind the sofa and looked as if she would run away if Gu Linshan tried to snatch it back. Gu Linshan's expression was ugly. Little uncle, I've been waiting for you. I have something to tell you. I want to study in D City, Luo Luoli said. Who gave you permission? Gu Linshan's expression was cold. Little uncle, just promise me. I can definitely finish high school with this 1 million yuan, and I don't want any of your other living expenses, okay? Luo Luoli had more than enough money to finish college, let alone high school. When Gu Linshan casually gave her 1 million yuan, she was shocked. Chapter 314. Gu Linshan smiled coldly. Do you want to study and stay here forever? Luo Luoli stared at him in shock. How did you know? You can only be a beggar with this little trick of yours. Luo Luoli thought to herself, what's wrong with being a beggar? Even beggars had their own specialties, all right? Not everyone can be a beggar. Beggars don't have food to eat if they don't do well. Hongqi had taught her a lot of experience. She wouldn't starve to death on the streets. Gu Linshan couldn't be bothered to look at her unconvinced expression. He turned around and sat down on the sofa. His body sank into it lazily. His eyes were cold as he said, you can go to school if you're like this. Why should I change? I was like this when I was studying. Luo Luoli said in confusion. Gu Linshan's eyes were as cold as an ice house. He even wondered how Luo Meiwan had managed to raise such a cute little girl to such an extent. He wanted to throw this rebellious child outside. Why aren't you saying anything? Luo Luoli asked cautiously when she saw that Gu Linshan's aura was a little frightening. If you were my child, I would let you know my temper. Gu Linshan's voice was cold. You're discriminating against my dressing. Do you think I'm not a good child just because of my dressing? Little uncle, you're judging people by their appearance. Luo Luoli retorted from behind the sofa. Then don't go to school. Gu Linshan stood up and walked away. There was no room for negotiation. Luo Luoli was anxious when she saw that Gu Linshan was as cold as his words. If she didn't study, she would be sent away quickly. When that time came, Luo Luoli's eyes flashed with unease. She immediately chased after Gu Linshan and blocked his way. Little uncle, is this okay? I'll change my clothes and buy new clothes now. I won't wear these lousy clothes anymore, okay? The panic on her ugly face was obvious. He also felt a little helpless. Gu Linshan looked at her without saying a word or moving. Little uncle, can you take it slow? I won't be able to adapt if you change them all at once. Are you from another planet? Are you not used to it? Luo Luoli looked at him pitifully with tears in her eyes. The crystal-clear mist made her eyes even brighter. Little uncle, I beg you, go and change. Luo Luoli's eyes lit up. Uncle, you promise me? If you say another word, you don't have to go to school anymore. I'll go now. Luo Luoli ran out happily. After a while, he disappeared. Gu Linshan was instantly irritated. He actually compromised again. This was the second time. What had he compromised with before? It was always his words that couldn't be disobeyed. Gu Linshan thought that there would not be a third time. Luo Luoli really went to the women's clothing store to buy clothes. She matched the clothes herself and didn't ask the shop assistant to do it. She felt that the shop assistant didn't match the clothes very well. She had to dress properly. Otherwise, Gu Linchen would definitely be dissatisfied and then go back on his words and not let her go to school. This kind of opportunity was not easy for Luo Luoli. She was now in her second year of high school. She didn't have to go back for more than a year. As for her mother, she could come here to visit her. The more Luo Luoli thought about it, the more perfect it was. After changing her clothes and shoes, she looked at herself in the mirror and felt that she looked good. As soon as she returned to the mansion, she looked for Gu Linchen. Little uncle, I've changed my clothes." When Luo Lili stood at the staircase and was about to go upstairs, she saw a tall and straight figure standing by the railing. He was tall and had a dark aura, looking down at her expressionlessly. Luo Lili stood below, looking up and saying, "Little uncle, I've changed my clothes. When can I go to school?" Gu Linchen's sharp gaze swept over Luo Luoli's clothes. She wore a pair of slim jeans and flat leather shoes that exposed her ankles. The skin around her ankles was very white, so white that it was sparkling and beautiful. She wore a warm jacket and a shirt with slightly long sleeves. Half of her small hands were hidden inside, revealing her slender fingers. There was a world of difference between his current appearance and his previous ragged appearance. "Little uncle, you won't go back on your words, right? We agreed on it. When can I go to school?" "Tomorrow." Gu Linchen's eyes were cold. "So soon?" Gu Linchen turned around eerily and left without a word. Luo Luoli muttered, "I've already changed my clothes. Why does he still look unhappy? How strange." The next morning, Luo Luoli was sleeping soundly under the blankets. But her face was definitely not cute or charming. At first glance, it was especially frightening. Upon closer inspection, it was even more frightening. Gu Linchen raised his wrist to look at the time, then walked to the edge of the bed. With a cold expression, he kicked the foot of the bed twice with his black leather shoes, making a loud thud. "What's going on?" Luo Luoli woke up with a start. She immediately bounced up from the bed and sleepily looked at Gu Linchen at the edge of the bed. Her mind was still in a daze. "Little uncle, why are you in my room? What time is it? Don't you need to go to school?" Gu Linchen was definitely not polite. Luo Luoli looked at the bedside table and exclaimed, "Ah, it's already 7. Sorry, my biological clock didn't adjust. I'll get up now. It won't be long. Wait for me." After speaking, she jumped off the bed and went into the bathroom. After breakfast, Luo Luoli got into the car. As soon as she sat down, she saw Gu Linchen following her. The car immediately left the mansion. "Little uncle, you're taking me to school?" Luo Luoli was very surprised. "It's on the way." Gu Linchen looked out of the car window expressionlessly. Luo Luoli was not unhappy about Gu Linchen's on the way. Instead, she smiled. "Even if it's on the way, I'm still very happy. When I was studying, no one took me to school. It wasn't even on the way." "Little uncle, thank you for on the way. Don't be happy too early. If I find out that you're causing trouble at school, you'll go back immediately. Do you hear me?" Gu Linchen looked at her coldly. "Don't worry, little uncle. I definitely won't cause trouble." Luo Luoli promised with a smile on her face. Gu Linchen glanced at her coldly and looked away. Luo Luoli did not know how Gu Linchen did it. How did he manage to become a transfer student so quickly? It seemed that she did not know her little uncle very well. After introducing herself to her classmates in class, she returned to her seat. Then, Luo Luoli heard whispers. "Isn't this girl too ugly?" "Exactly. How could such an ugly girl be assigned to our class?" Chapter 315. Luo Luoli flipped through her book calmly, as if she didn't hear the discussion. In any case, he had heard enough of such words in his previous school. She had already mastered the ability to let it go in one ear and out the other. She also promised Gu Linchen that she wouldn't cause trouble, so she wouldn't fuss about it. Red 7 was sunbathing by the side of the road. There was a broken bowl in front of her. Occasionally, passers-by would throw one. 50 yuan into the bowl. Suddenly, a 100 yuan note was thrown in. Red 7, who looked like she was sunbathing, had been paying attention to her broken bowl. She was stunned and looked at Luo Luoli, who sat down next to her. She was very surprised, especially the tasteful clothes she was wearing now. You look pretty good like this. Even so, you can't insult me. Red 7 looked at Luo Luoli helplessly as she said, What insult? You gave me 100 yuan directly. What sense of accomplishment would I have? Just treat it as if it fell from the sky. By the way, who was the man who pulled you away last time? I heard you call him little uncle. He doesn't look like someone to be trifled with, Red 7 asked. He's my little uncle. He looks like a bad guy. You weren't bullied, right? Tell me if you were, Red 7 said. Luo Lolly looked at her with a smile. Red 7 knew that look of disdain and said, I'm just asking you to tell me. I'm not going to seek justice for you. Aren't you curious why a family like mine is begging? Luo Lolly saw that Red 7 didn't ask and took the initiative to ask. What's so strange about that? I'm a postdoc, but I'm still begging. Red 7 looked at the traffic in the distance indifferently. Red 7 used to say that she was a postdoc. Of course, Luo Lolly didn't take it seriously and laughed it off. Why don't I ask my little uncle to arrange a job for you? Do you think what I'm doing now isn't a job? I like being a beggar. This is my goal in life. To be a promising beggar, you have to know that not everyone can be a beggar. First, they had to put down their pride. Second, they had to stick to their beliefs. Third, they had to be logical. Don't underestimate the work of a beggar. I know, you said it before, and I've always remembered it. However, Luo Lolly still felt that it was better not to be a beggar. So, she didn't have the life of a beggar. However, Luo Lolly definitely supported Red 7. This was because everyone had different ideas and hobbies. What he liked was the best. Let's not talk about it anymore. I have to go back. Otherwise, my little uncle will be unhappy. Lowly Luo stood up. You see, isn't it better to be a beggar? How much freedom? You don't have that kind of good fortune. Red 7 looked at Luo Luoli with pity and said. Luo Luoli smiled and said, Then I'll come see you next time. At night, Luo Luoli was lying on her desk in her room doing her homework. It was a difficult math problem. She had been trying to undo it for a long time, but she still couldn't undo it. She was sweating profusely. She hated mathematics the most. It was enough to make her brain cells die. Luo Luoli stood up, took off her sweater, and changed into the t-shirt she bought. Anyway, she wouldn't feel cold wearing this in the mansion. She thought that her mind would be clearer after changing into cool clothes. However, if she didn't know how to do it, it was useless even if a gun was pointed at her head. Luo Luoli bit the end of her pen in her mouth. She thought about it and didn't know if Gu Linshen knew how to do it. Thus, she took the math problem and went to find her little uncle. Luo Luoli walked to the door and knocked. Little uncle, are you there? I have something to talk to you about. Little uncle? Why didn't anyone answer her? Or was her voice too soft for her to hear? Luo Luoli pressed her ear against the door, trying to hear what was going on inside. She didn't notice that the person behind her was looking at her coldly and silently. Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. After Luo Luoli finished speaking, she immediately felt that something was wrong. She turned around in shock and saw Gu Linshen standing behind her silently. She suddenly felt guilty. Little uncle, why are you standing behind me without saying anything? What's the matter? Gu Linshen didn't look happy. I don't know how to do a math problem. Little uncle, can you teach me? Go back to your room and wait. Gu Linshen's face was cold. Okay, then I'll go back to my room and wait for you. Luo Luoli turned and ran back to her room. After returning to her room, she sat at her desk and waited. Not long after, Gu Linshen's tall figure walked in. Lowly Luo immediately straightened her back and sat up straight. When Gu Linshen walked over, she pushed her textbook to the side to show him. Gu Linshen pulled a chair and sat down. His expression didn't look too good. He didn't have the patience to teach a child a math problem. Gu Linshen felt that when his patience ran out, it would be time to send Luo Luoli away. Isn't it very simple? Use the formula. Gu Linshen glanced at the question and said, I used the formula, but I still can't solve it. Luo Luoli was shocked. Her uncle could solve it just by looking at it? She thought that Gu Linshen had been an adult for so many years that even if he knew how to solve it, he would have to think carefully. Now, You didn't even need to think. You can use the formula after you calculate it. I don't know how to. Luo Luoli looked at him innocently. Gu Linshun didn't say a word. He picked up his pen and calculated on the draft paper for her to see. Luo Luoli leaned forward and looked at Gu Linshun's bold and powerful handwriting. It looked very sexy. Do you understand? Gu Linshun put down his pen and asked. I understand. Luo Luoli picked up her pen and wanted a copy. Gu Linshun flipped the draft book over. Luo Luoli was stunned. She looked into Gu Linshun's cold eyes and lowered her head to do her homework obediently. Gu Linshun had been watching her do her homework. Then, he was attracted by Luo Luoli's beautiful, creamy arms. Luo Luoli was wearing a short-sleeved shirt. Her skin was unusually fair and translucent under the light. It was so tender that it seemed to be devoid of strength. He looked at Luo Luoli's face again. It was extremely inappropriate. It was obvious that she had poor taste. Gu Linshun's expression darkened when he saw her face. Gu Linshun was a clean freak. He allowed Luo Luoli's face to appear in front of him. It was obvious that he had extraordinary tolerance. Little uncle, I don't know how to solve the next question either, Luo Luoli said. Pick the one you know how to do first. Luo Luoli didn't move. You don't understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to do it. Gu Linshun's expression darkened. Are you sleeping in class? I'm not sleeping. It's just that after the change of teachers, the way they teach is different. That's why I don't understand at the moment. Chapter 316. Luo Luoli thought to herself, is he asking me to follow my train of thought and make mistakes? Don't scold me if I make a mistake. Luo Luoli lowered her head and racked her brains to solve the problem. After she had solved it, she showed it to Gu Linshun. Little uncle, look, did I make a mistake? Luo Luoli moved her textbook over to him. Gu Linshun's body jerked violently. His face was full of disbelief. Luo Luoli noticed the change in Gu Linshun's expression. She asked in confusion, Little uncle, what's wrong? Gu Linshun's sharp, dark eyes stared at Luo Luoli. Uncle, aren't you making a lot of mistakes? Luo Luoli thought that Gu Linshun was staring at the textbook and had seen her solving the questions incorrectly. That was why he was acting this way. Little uncle. Luo Luoli was about to speak again when she met Gu Linshun's cold, dark eyes. She was so frightened that she shut her mouth. Gu Linshun did not say anything. He stood up with a cold expression and left. Luo Luoli stood there in a daze. She did not know what was going on. Why did Gu Linshun suddenly have such an expression? She could not see through it. His expression was tense and cold, as if he was enduring something. Luo Luoli looked at the math problem she had just solved and wondered if her problem had angered Gu Linshun. Was it that wrong? Gu Linshun returned to his room, entered the bathroom, turned on the shower, and stood under it. The cold water splashed on his body and gradually dissipated. Other than the time when he was drugged by Di Hao Yin, Gu Linshun had never had such a strong reaction. Because of Luo Luoli? Because of her ugly face? Gu Linshun's slender fingers raked through his thick black hair in frustration. Tang Bao and Wan Malay were shopping in the supermarket. The two of them were originally in front of the shelf together, but because of their different tastes, Tang Bao went elsewhere to look for her favorite flip yogurt. Just as she picked up the yogurt, she saw Gu Linshun walking toward her with a cold face and a menacing look on his face. Tang Bao was so scared that he threw away the yogurt in his hand and ran away. But how could she outrun the wolves of the forest? Gu Linshun grabbed Tang Bao's shoulder from behind. Just as he was about to scream, his mouth was covered. Help! No one came to save her. She was pushed to the corner and pressed tightly against the wall of the supermarket. Gu Linshun did not come with good intentions. You'd better not call me that, or I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life in front of so many surveillance cameras. Tang Bao looked in horror at the crazy person who ran out again. After Gu Linshun removed his hand from her mouth, Tang Bao immediately became angry. What are you trying to do now? Don't tell me you're going to drug me. I'm telling you, don't do that. Di Hao Yin won't let you off. Don't worry, I'm not here to drug you. Then what are you trying to do? Tang Bao was stunned. Then, with a shocked expression, she asked, "Do you have a crueler way to deal with me?" Gu Linshin had the urge to strangle her. "If you want, I can do it now." "I don't want it, I don't want it. Let me go quickly. I know you won't use cruel means on me," Tang Bao said immediately. Gu Linshin's attention fell on Tang Bao's face. Her skin was fair and supple, without any blemishes. But Gu Linshin frowned, as if something was missing. Tang Bao's body stiffened against the wall. She was almost as hard as the wall. Why did she feel creeped out when Gu Linshin stared at her? What was Gu Linshin doing? It didn't look like he was doing anything strange to her. It looked more like he was studying human skin. Was Gu Linshin going to kill her? Just as Tang Bao was scared out of her wits, hoping that Wan Malay would notice that she was missing and quickly come to find her, the pressure on her body suddenly disappeared. Gu Linshin's heavy body retreated. With a gloomy face, he turned around and left. When Wan Malay found Tang Bao, she saw Tang Bao's body stiffened against the wall. It looked very strange. It was as if he was practicing some strange martial arts. "What are you doing?" Wan Malay walked over and looked Tang Bao up and down. She frowned. Tang Bao's body relaxed, and she said helplessly, "Gu Linshin is here." "What? Where?" Wan Malay looked around. He left again. Tang Bao wiped her face with her hands as if there was something dirty on it. "Damn Gu Linshin. Nothing good happened every time he appeared. Why did he look for you?" Wan Malay asked. "How would I know what he wants? He's so weird." "Weird? What kind of word was that? Are you sure he's not trying to woo you?" "No way. Otherwise, why would he keep looking for you?" Tang Bao turned her face. There was a mirror on the shelf. Her delicate face was reflected in the mirror. Tang Bao rubbed his chin and said in understanding, "It's no wonder. Such a beautiful face." Wan Malay was speechless. In the office, the two of them put away the food they bought. Tang Bao's food was placed in her lounge. When she came out, she did not see Wan Malay. "Where are you going to hide a snack? Are you afraid that I'll steal it?" Tang Bao walked around the office looking for it. "If I find it, I'll steal it." He. Then she went to Wan Malay's desk and rummaged through her cupboard. When she opened one of the cupboards, she did not see any snacks. Instead, there were company documents. There was something else in the gap between the documents. "What is it?" Tang Bao took it out and looked at it. Her eyes widened. On the box, it said early pregnancy. Wasn't this the one she bought at the pharmacy to test her pregnancy? Wan Malay still kept it? Tang Bao thought that if she had known, she would have tested it when she bought it. Then, she would not have been in pain and uneasiness. Just as Tang Bao was studying the early pregnancy box, she heard someone come in. Tang Bao thought it was Wan Malay. She stared at the instructions on the box and said, "Malay, I didn't expect you to still keep the early pregnancy box you insisted on buying for me last time. I should have taken it for a test back then. I was so scared that I was uneasy for a few days. I thought I was pregnant with Brother Junbai's child." After Tang Bao finished speaking, she felt that something was wrong in the air. The smile on her face froze. Chapter 317. Di Hao Yin, why? Why are you here? Tang Bao laughed dryly. The closer Di Hao Yin got to him, the taller he seemed, and the more oppressive he felt. Tang Bao took a small step back. At the same time, Di Hao Yin snatched the pregnancy pill from his hand. "Explain what you said just now." Di Hao Yin's face was as dark as a stormy cloud, as if a storm was about to come. Tang Bao was immediately terrified. He stood there with his head lowered and played with his fingers nervously. It's that time when I woke up in the morning and vomited. For a few days, my stomach felt uncomfortable. I thought that I might have eaten something bad, so I went to the pharmacy with Malay to buy medicine. It was the pharmacist at the pharmacy who said that I might be pregnant and suggested to buy the pregnancy pill. Then I bought it, but I didn't dare to use it. I didn't expect Malay to keep it. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he carefully looked at Di Hao Yin's cold face. "In other words, you didn't eat when you were feeling unwell and didn't want to see a doctor because you were afraid that I would find out that you were pregnant?" "Yes. Which pharmacy is it? I'll smash it." Di Hao Yin suppressed his anger and said fiercely. Tang Bao was shocked and immediately comforted him. You can't blame others. It's because my period hasn't come for 2 months and I felt nauseous. That's why they suspected me. You're still in a mood to care about others? Di Haoyan's dark eyes narrowed and became colder. I remember what you called Di Junbai just now. Tang Bao was so scared that every nerve of his body was tense. He was so frightened by Di Haoyan's cold aura that he didn't dare breathe. I was talking about Di Junbai. Huh? You call me Di Junbai in front of me, but you call me Brother Junbai behind my back. Are you very close to me? Di Haoyan's black eyes carried a frightening danger as he approached Tang Bao. No, Di Haoyan, you must calm down. I just said it casually. This is the first time I've called you that after that incident. Really, I just said it without thinking. Please don't take it seriously. Tang Bao stopped retreating. Because the desk behind her was blocking her way, she couldn't retreat. In front of him was the tall Di Haoyan. Then should I make your brain remember what should be said and what shouldn't be said? What do you want? This is the office. Tang Bao's heart trembled. Bao, you seem to have forgotten the contract I made. Tang Bao's brain froze. She thought of the contract she wanted Di Haoyan to write. Di Haoyan, are you serious? Tang Bao asked in disbelief. Of course. I want to refuse. Your refusal is invalid. Tang Bao wanted to cry, but had no tears. Go back to your desk. Tang Bao didn't want to think about it. Okay. Di Haoyan. Tang Bao was so scared that her hands were in a panic. She was so shocked that she turned pale. Are you kidding me? This is the office. Di Haoyan's voice was low and hoarse. Malay will be back soon. Hiju will be negligent if anyone comes in. He won't dare. But, are you sure you want to refuse? Then you won't have a day off. Tang Bao's struggling movements froze. Her little face was full of grievance. She pouted and looked at Di Haoyan pitifully. Di Haoyan looked at her pitiful look. Di Haoyan, have mercy on me? I won't dare to do it again. Have you grown a brain? It has grown very well now. Tang Bao held her head with her two small hands. The more cute she was, the more Di Haoyan wanted to eat her. However, he glanced to the side with his sharp eyes. He picked up the pregnancy test on his desk. Go and get it tested. Tang Bao was a little stunned by the change in topic. Since you bought it, you have to use it. Tang Bao understood what Di Haoyan meant. She held the pregnancy test in her hand and asked uncertainly, Do you really want to test it? It's only been more than a month. You're not really pregnant, are you? It can't be so fast. You're pregnant, Di Haoyan said with certainty. How do you know? Don't tell me you can see it with your naked eye. Tang Bao was half convinced. Because in her understanding. To put it nicely, he was omnipotent. To put it bluntly, he was capable of doing anything. Because I'm 100% accurate. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment, and her face turned red. What if you don't have it? If you don't? Before she could finish speaking, Di Haoyan's eyes turned cold. Tang Bao immediately stopped talking. If you bargain with me again, do you believe that you won't be able to come to the company in the future? Tang Bao lowered her head and quickly jumped down from the desk and went to the bathroom in the lounge. In the mirror, Tang Bao was even more ashamed. It was really bad. Tang Bao looked at the pregnancy test in her hand and then at her flat belly. Would there be a Xiao Bao in her belly? She didn't feel anything at all. Tang Bao opened the box and sat down on the toilet. The door suddenly opened. Tang Bao looked up in shock and saw Di Haoyan. Her face turned red again. What are you doing? Do you know how to use it? Of course I know how to use it. Get out quickly. Do you still want me to test it? Tang Bao was anxious to chase him away. Di Haoyan glanced at her suspiciously. However, he still closed the door and waited in the lounge. Tang Bao sat there and read the instructions on the box. Pee against it? How do I do it? Tang Bao looked left and right. She stood up again and wanted to find a more convenient position. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.